15 minutes.
Well,
I'm surprised you ate dinner and it only took 15 minutes.
I eat quick. I'm a big boy. Well, not. You know what I mean. I'm not fat. I'm voracious.
it's an impressive feat, eating dinner that fast. Well, gentlemen, you spurg, Iceberg, we all spurg for icebergs. Episode
so.
15. We finally made it. Let
I
me.
just had to do one more announcement.
Iceberg is no imminent proof. Oh shit!
See, I got one.
Yeah, quality's
Okay.
quality's joined. I don't know whether or not I don't know who to have muted and who to not have muted.
I won't talk unless I need to.
Qual doesn't talk anyway, so I think actually, you know what? Otto is known for interrupting people in VC. I think
I've never heard Otto talk.
All right, well I have him muted because of that.
no, I was. He doesn't even plan on speaking. I was just kidding.
Well, I like
rarely speak.
there's no functional difference if I have him muted. Then now is there?
All right, so I just realized that my right pinky finger has like some shrimp seasoning on it. I'm gonna wash my hands. Hold on.
Just lick it.
No, this keyboard's white. If it gets stained, I'm fucked.
The fuck use a white keyboard?
Because he has a Mac.
Stop it, so.
I've started
Why do you have a
recording, by the
Mac?
way. So
Based. All right, pause the recording. Hold on.
no. I can just edit it out.
I gotta wash my little boy fingers. Hold on.
My little boy.
Wait, so
Okay.
you started recording Sinat?
I did.
So I can't say nigger, can
No, you can't say that word.
I'll have to cut it
I'll
from
get
the recording.
demonetized. You just lost all of ad revenue.
anything to make you watch 2 hours of footage just to cut out 2 seconds.
Yeah.
It's really big.
You gotta just stopwatch and just press the lap every time he says the N word.
That's extremely based. It is extremely
No
based.
doubt, it was so funny. Back in the day, I don't even remember what episode it was. But we were doing it, and right in the middle of the episode, Bumbles joined and went, and then left immediately. It was so fun.
Did he say anything?
Did you not hear me?
No, he didn't say anything.
Bumble joined the VC and he said, nigger, and then he left. In the
That's
middle of an iceberg.
3 instances that he has to edit out now.
All right, white people, gay people, we're all ready to shit. You know what I mean? I've had a very large meal, so if I fall asleep halfway through, just someone wake me up.
Nah.
Yeah.
All right.
I hope you
well,
don't fall asleep at 6:40 in the afternoon.
we have reached the bottom of the barrel.
What are the
That's
last
right.
ones?
There's a fucking image out. Where am I supposed to record from?
It's in general. It's in general.
Are you guys like retarded?
Put it in
Which-
general chat.
So which layer are we at?
Yeah, which character?
We're on Rynox.
We've begun Rynox. I think
Rynox is the
we're on Royal Rifle.
which one of these PFPs is Rynox?
He's the 5th one from the bottom. So if you go to the top, count 5. It's the judge.
This might be a little intuitive, but the person whose name is Judge Boy, his profile picture is the one with the judge.
So, our first one, and this one seems very plausible, although if anything Boson said is to go by, it's probably not. Abandoned mall catacombs.
I thought we did.
I don't remember, so let's just do it
No.
again.
Okay, alright, sorry.
Wouldn't be that the last one you did?
Nope.
Alright. So, what is it about?
It's an abandoned mall catacomb.
Yes, I heard. What does this one entail?
Well, from what I remember, I think I looked into it shortly after we finished last time, which was like a month ago. But if I recall, there were a few like dead malls that were. It was discovered that they had really large tunnel systems underneath that were just completely empty. I forget which ones though, so let me see if I can check it.
Man, those shrimp were salty as fuck, dude. I might actually be in like mortal danger.
Why'd you have so much salt on your shrimp?
Then drink water.
I drunk water and a round of tea, but you know.
I have been drinking a fuck ton of tea.
You know tea dehydrates you, right?
Yeah, I know, but like I can't help but consume the leaf juice. I've just been doing nothing but drinking tea. It has nothing to do with abandoned mall catacombs, but still.
That's me and coffee, man. I'll spend $25 a week on coffee.
I know, it's retarded.
Oh, by the way, the chat you're supposed to be talking in is the investigation room.
Gotcha. Now, Otto, I know you're not stupid, but I just want to make sure this is an interactive thing. So if you want to look up whatever we're doing, you can do that too. Post whatever you find.
If you also have any comments, you know that's welcome. Just obviously don't cut people off.
Again, he's
Or
not
ask
talking
permission.
in VC, so he physically can't.
How about I cut you off? Like I cut off that ambulance when I was.
That already happened.
Alright.
Oh, so none of that, please? Because then I have to go back and edit that out.
Little boy. Oh, did Otto? Alright, I have this article about the Northland Mall tunnels. Did you guys get that one?
Oh no, 4chan's offline.
No, it's not.
I'm getting a web server return error.
Well, the archives are at least still open.
How am I supposed to browse trash?
You shouldn't be browsing trash right.
I'll browse S if you mess with me like that.
I'm just saying we're doing something.
I have multiple tabs open. I'm already prepared.
Well, I found this case where an abandoned mall in Northland, Tennessee, I think. Detroit. No, it's in Detroit. It was in Detroit. There's an abandoned mall. Some people went in and they found this huge labyrinth of tunnels underneath.
Oh, that's a beautiful picture.
Entire network runs several miles and includes an astounding 884. It's just room after room after room like this. Pitch black room of unfinished concrete and exposed pipe. So what we can assume that the Iceberg is implying here is that there's some sort of nefarious activity going on in these underground tunnels, if all malls do indeed have.
That does sound like conjecture.
It does.
I suppose it is, but I don't see the purpose of a mall having underground tunnels that span miles with 800 rooms in them that are just not being used.
Speaking about nefarious things, do we even want to talk about the Epstein suicide? While it's still fresh?
That's topical, and because it's still fresh, we don't have all the data. We don't have all the data on.
That's true.
Well, it's the thing. What was it?
Listen, guys, the CIA is hampering the Iceberg channel from having this discussion. Come on, lads.
Alright, well, mall catacombs are still cool, so we'll keep it. Royal Rifle Machine, Universal Microscope.
This one is kind of crazy. I don't know why it says universal microscope. The Royal Rife machine refers to a machine invented by the guy's name is Royal Rife. It's not like a royalty thing. His name is Royal Rife. His full name is Royal Raymond Rife. Invented the Rife machine. It produces an energy similar to radiation. It operates on the idea that if you produce an electromagnetic wave that matches a disease, you can kill it with, like, radio wave.
Alright.
Okay, so none of this is actually showing up on the investigation room thing. That's great.
It is.
No, I'm the one recording, so what I see and what you see are two different things.
Rife believed bacteria or viruses inside tumors emit specific electromagnetic frequencies. He developed a microscope he claimed could detect electromagnetic frequencies from bacteria and viruses by the color of their auras.
That sounds like some grade A bullshit to me.
I don't know, man. I mean, it seems pretty plausible. He walked up and
you
he
wanna
said,
know what?
I can detect germs or...
If I had like a fucking dollar for every time I said that sounds like bullshit, in this series,
You know, this one is the
I
one that
have
sounds...
about $100.
No, this sounds like some one guy going on about bullshit rather than, like, a conspiracy theory. The uselessness of these devices. Huh.
Oh,
Maybe they're a scam.
well, one of the things that's in this article I'm reading is funny. It says some people want to use Rife machines to cure cancer because they believe it can cure cancer. But
It has
cancer is
nothing
not
to do with cancer.
cancer is not caused by bacteria and viruses.
Yeah.
So even if the Rife machine worked, you couldn't cure cancer.
That's true. That's true. Mapimi.
Zona del Silencio.
La zona del Americano.
Okay, it's one of those that are like kind of interesting, but unfortunately, it hasn't aged well because some niggas like disproved it. So it's a place in Mexico where if you go there, there's no wireless communication, just will not work, like at all. At least that was the urban legend. They put a sign up, which is nice.
How did someone disprove?
I think it's pretty obvious that they would disprove it. Just like, go in there and the wireless communication is still working, that disproves the whole thing.
Well, did that happen? I'm asking Baph because he said it was disproved.
After several weeks of searching, local farmers found and reported. Wait, what? Hold on.
Swear to God, it's aliens.
There might be more to it. Well, let's see. Oh, okay. So there's apparently some cobalt-57 nuclear material sitting around the place that no one can find, but it's out there somewhere because a missile exploded over that at White Sands Missile Range nearby.
Huh. So it's just radioactive.
Maybe a little bit, but there's really nothing to it now.
Alright. I mean, that is a unique sign, so there's still that.
It was a good try, good try. Mapimi. Mapimi?
I pronounced it Mapimi. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
The
Small
Mapimi
town in
silence.
San Gabriel believes it's 1962. What?
I tried my very best to find something for this one, but it looks like it's just made up because I haven't found anything. And even on Google, which is like, you know, I should catalog everything. It's like the first result is like a San Gabriel high school class of 1960. So I think you just have to black this one because I haven't heard anything.
Well, maybe the idea is that it really is 1962, and everyone's trying to keep it a secret.
I'll let the other people in chat do their research if they want, but I'll let you know beforehand. I haven't found anything on anything.
Maybe I should bring up.
Well, it's weird because it says small town in San Gabriel, which sounds as if it would be the name of the town. Not that there would be a town.
No, it's the San Gabriel Mountains, which are in California.
Oh. Alright, fuck me, I'm wrong.
So, the next one is the NSA kill list.
Well. We haven't moved on from this one yet. Baph, do you have any input on
First,
San Diego?
first off, hold up. Let me explain something. I push us forward. Just to help create a sort of ebb and flow, alright? If you want to search for the next one, that's fine, but I'll tell us when we're on the next one. Just to help create a little bit of order, alright? Because if everyone's flying ahead, it creates utter chaos. But yeah, that's the next one.
Alright.
Oh, are we doing Boson?
Well, Baph seems to be so disinterested in this one that you could be forgiven for thinking he's disappeared on us. So
I think we can press it.
Well, if there's no data on it, then there's no data on it, bud.
Right. And well, NSA Belange is something I do know, because I think it's related to something earlier that in the ice. We're not at bog bodies yet.
Shut up, retard.
The Belange program refers to this idea that people who believe that they are gang stalked or are targeted individuals are actually the ones doing the gang stalking or government activity.
Well, hold up. Didn't we go over this before?
Yeah, Belange was earlier on the ice.
Oh, okay. Okay, so this is connected to that then.
Yeah. Well, and the thing with Belange is that it's a sort of brainwashing thing. It's related to what they call kill words, which are like the hypnosis triggers or whatever for the subject. And I can only assume that the kill list refers to the list of kill words used in the Belange program.
Would anyone have any, examples as to what these words would be?
No, but yes, Beth. I heard your mic echo me. Is there something you want to...
That's funny. I said twink and you said yes, Baph.
Shut the fuck up.
I think that's that's his name now.
Well, it's funnily related to something that we were talking about a little bit yesterday. Baph posted screenshots of the CIA documents where they talked about remote viewing, so it's something like this would be out of the ordinary for them to dip their hands in.
Cool. Yeah, we'll keep that. Bog bodies are stored as super disease paleovirus hosts for biowarfare.
It's not so much the subject, it's the concept of a bog body by itself. It's a very well-preserved humanoid, as you can see in the investigation room. They, TLDR, the Iceberg is suggesting that museums hold on to them, because, in the event of emergency, they can split them open and use them as weapons. I kind of see that as a little far-fetched, but, ancient bacteria is a
Well, if their body cells are preserved well enough, then so will the bacteria. Another interesting thing I thought is that normally bog bodies are preserved in such a way where the bones disintegrate, but the flesh is.
I can see
Which
a
is
right there.
Which is like, imagine your bones dissolve.
Wow, I'd have trouble getting up.
So, I have a hard time believing this. Because how could that be true? After all, wouldn't we be immune to the same bacteria?
Depends.
Why would we be immune to it? I would argue that if it's old enough, we would definitely not be immune to it. In the same way that, if a disease that we cured a long time ago came back, we would be completely unprepared for it because our immune systems haven't come in contact.
Other than the fact that we still vaccinate for those diseases.
There are a few we don't vaccinate for. Like, we don't vaccinate for smallpox.
Yeah, that's the
Because we don't need to. It's gone.
Exterminated.
But what I mean is that if smallpox came back, we'd kind of be fucked because our immune systems have never dealt with it, so we don't like it would.
Not really. The CDC knows ways of dealing with it, and we
Not if the CDC is the one putting out smallpox.
I forgot. This was about them putting it out. Yeah, we would.
I
they
don't
were
know. This seems
purposely
just a
trying to see
little
if
far
we-
Yeah,
fetched.
in this situation, the institutions that would give out vaccines are the ones proliferating the disease, so
Yeah.
we can rule that out.
Yeah. However, I don't see these diseases particularly going anywhere, as most diseases back then were
Well,
non-lethal.
Otto, I can
because it's
assume
what
it's
most
not that they
diseases
would.
want to
I can
be.
assume Otto. It's not that they would use the exact bacteria that's been preserved in the body. It would be that they'd use it as a base to do some CRISPR magic to replicate the disease, as far as I'm concerned.
All right.
Because if
Other than-
they're as preserved as the body is, their DNA is still accessible.
All right. All right. Other than the fact that you used the word CRISPR magic there, I think, which, I mean, CRISPR is a very useful protein, but it's can't bring things back from the dead. So
That's not what I'm saying.
I know, but
What do you
destroyed. I doubt the DNA would be in an intact enough state for it to be very useful. But if it was, then yeah, it would be pretty fucked.
Well, that's not true. We've taken a look at the genes of several dinosaurs. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and you can say like, well, you can't just replicate a being from its dead DNA, and it's like that's true. It's a lot easier to replicate fucking bacteria than a dinosaur.
Yeah, I
You
gotta
can
say,
replicate-
the thing is that bacteria are single-celled organisms, so replicating them with their DNA is actually feasibly easier than what they're trying to do with resurrecting the woolly mammoth at the moment by, like, essentially genetically modifying elephant fetuses.
Imagine being an elephant fetus. That would suck.
Damn it. Felucid birth defects.
This one is really interesting because it ties into the whole. It's another thing we've sort of talked about earlier on the Iceberg. Fallujah is a town in Iraq. They have a really like huge birth defect problem. Like children are being born really fucked up in that town, and no one's sure why. But also, some people have done independent studies and found traces of radioactive material in Fallujah that may be the cause. But of course, how did that get?
This goes back to earlier in the Iceberg. Iraq was nuked. Okay, there's your
Yeah.
explanation.
Yeah, that's yeah, pretty much.
Realistically, people reviewed this with. It's not uncommon for the U.S. military to use uranium ammunition. And
Right, but they're not. But they're saying that they did.
okay, they lied. I mean, it's certainly more like
Well, if they're lying about using uranium bullets, why would they not lie about nuking?
Because
one of
nuking
those
country
is
a
one of
whole
those
lot
is
worse.
significantly easier to track.
Apparently not, because
Apparently, yes.
kids are having birth defects, and no one's saying
Uranium ammunition.
So here's the
it sounds
thing.
like a cop out, frankly.
So here's the
Remember in
thing,
the
right?
1970s,
Wait,
when
wait,
a
wait,
nuke
wait.
exploded like 500 miles
Do you
off
mind
the
if I
coast of
interject real
Africa,
quick?
and we knew immediately.
You guys mind if I interject? So what country was that town in?
Afghanistan?
Iraq.
Iraq.
Well, alright, yeah. So I remember hearing about this is word of mouth. By the way, I can't really corroborate this in any sources. Word of mouth that apparently the U.S. detonated a neutron bomb somewhere in Iraq during the Iraq War.
That's also on the Iceberg. It's about I think it was Baghdad Airport, and that one's
But-
more mysterious than this one by a long shot.
Well.
So
I mean,
here's the thing, right?
Well, I mean, it's the same theory.
No, Baghdad Airport's different. It's not uranium sickness in Baghdad Airport. It's the fact that an extremely massive amount of witnesses attest that when the airport was attacked, which goes against U.S. narrative because we never attacked Baghdad Airport, I don't think, there was a loud bomb crack explosion noise, and then all the fighting stopped, like immediately.
Well, if they did nuke the Baghdad airport, it's
not-
gotten all the way to Fallujah.
It's not a nuke; it was a neutron bomb, which is purely electric and would just vaporize.
No.
You're
That's
fucking
not
an
like
idiot,
neutron bomb.
man.
A neutron bomb is like
That's
spread
literally on the
radiation.
iceberg.
You are a fucking idiot.
Yeah, it's on the
Whoa.
iceberg that it's a neutron
Mind if I
bomb.
interject? Mind if I interject? The neutron bomb spread
The
radiation.
neutron bomb is not the
explosions.
fucking lightning ball from Gmod, you fucking idiot.
These things,
Well, it's not a nuke because independent
is
researchers
technically-
would have proven.
a nuclear bomb, but it's a small explosion with a lot of radiation.
Yeah, in fact, a neutron bomb would give more radioactive fallout than a normal nuke. You fucked
That's
up.
the point of the
Okay,
weapon.
then I guess it wasn't either. That supports that it's uranium, depleted uranium.
So
What?
hold up. Listen.
I'm saying that it's plausible that if we nuked the Baghdad airport, the fallout could have traveled all the way to Fallujah.
didn't nuke them.
That's a completely plausible explanation.
Oh, okay, so that is plausible. Here's the thing, all right? Nuclear bombs appear on seismographs all around the planet. So, hiding said nuclear assault is the real issue with the idea that we bombed Afghanistan.
Yeah,
Because whilst the U.S. government would treat it as a secret, I
Well,
highly doubt
Baph uses this example of like, oh, the Bela incident. We only know about the Bela incident because the government told us it happened. If something like that happened and they didn't want to tell us about it, we wouldn't know.
Not just the American government; it was a lot of governments that picked it up.
Well, that's how they, minus observation, that's how they can tell when certain countries are close to getting nukes. The harder they get, the more they appear on seismographs.
Otto posted an article that I'm about to cite. Depleted uranium munitions do pose a significant health risk and impacts biological half-life. Aerosol powder produced by impact and combustion can cause contamination of wide areas around impact sites, leading to possible inhalation by human beings. Of course, you commonly find uranium ammunition in tanks, which we know bombed the fuck out of Fallujah.
Yeah. Alright, that is probably the most likely answer to
Yeah,
that.
it's depleted uranium ammunition.
So then, what happened at the Baghdad airport?
We don't.
We don't know.
We don't know. We know it wasn't nuked though, because all of those like surrounding countries would have been the first to know. It's whether or not you trust Iraqi citizens telling you that there was an explosion and a bomb, and then everyone stopped fighting. Like, if you trust them.
Some fine parts the part I don't trust. Because
It might have been a mistranslation. Let me look this up officially. Let's see. Right, I'm back. Hello?
I thought you were looking at something.
I lost connection. I have to make sure I'm here.
Oh, alright.
I can't get to Google. What the hell?
you've been Google Black.
Okay, one of you who is... Someone Google if we actually attacked Baghdad airport or not.
So,
Well, here's a few stills of footage from the initial attacks on Baghdad with a suspiciously mushroom-shaped cloud appearing in the
Well,
Baghdad.
Moabs make mushroom clouds as well.
yeah. And
I'm just saying.
Moab is
So
a
so
really
do
large
so do any large explosion makes a mushroom cloud, even
The
bullets.
Halifax disaster.
Well, no, because that was not a singular bomb.
It's a lot
You
of
can
bombs.
Might as well.
You can Google ammunition explosions and they make mushroom clouds. You can Google Moab detonations, they make mushroom. If that was a nuke, that camera would have been blinded.
Not if it were a neutron.
Neutron would have created an EMP and the camera wouldn't have been online.
If it was in high orbit, yeah.
You really
that's
don't
what-
understand what a neutron bomb.
A neutron bomb.
All nukes create an EMP.
A neutron bomb is designed to lower impact and maximize radioactive damage, right?
It's like
So
a
the
dirty bomb.
explosion
But
Well,
movement it's a dirty bomb.
That's the problem, though, isn't it? Because Fallujah is not radioactive. Aside from these trace instances in which we find people, which is consistent
Fallujah
with
is really far away from Baghdad.
uranium inhalation. And Baghdad is a thriving city today, And unlike Hiroshima, they never had radioactive fallout present.
Because it all got blown to flame.
It doesn't make it more interesting if you just argue for the unlikely scenario.
I find it likely that the U.S. just fucking made a stupid decision and covered it up.
Well, you do realize that even a shitty high school can detect a nuclear explosion from like kilometers.
Apparently they did.
Kilometers away.
How many shitty high schools are there in Iraq?
A seismograph is not expensive. You're also like right next to Russia's ally Iran, which is known to have at least nuclear sensitive material, and you know they would have said something to bully the United States. Israel would have said something, Egypt would have said something, Jordan, Tehran.
Tehran's not a state. It's a city.
Yeah, it's in Iran.
Palestine.
Well, actually, the Palestinian government really doesn't have any of that tech, so they actually wouldn't have said anything.
Like every time the Russians bomb like themselves for nuclear tests, people in Finland and Germany pick it up all the time.
Well, that was during the Cold War. They don't nuke themselves anymore.
Yeah,
wait,
they didn't just
speaking-
disarm these systems.
Speaking of nukes, time began with the atomic bomb.
Alright, Boson, this is you.
Yeah, I looked into it beforehand, but I couldn't really find much. There are some things on the Iceberg where you look it up in the X archives, and most of the posts for it are just people going, "Wow, I really want an explanation for this. Can someone please explain this?" And then no one replies. That's really infuriating. I tried to do it on Google, but I get like atomic timeline, the birth of an era, American atomic bomb history, which is interesting, but not what.
So we're not going to even bother looking into this?
Try DuckDuckGo. I guess I'll try. What was the thing, right? I looked into it beforehand, but you guys, you could try your own, like, because everyone gets different Google results. So I mean,
DuckDuckGo is famously bad for contextual searches. Like,
It is.
plus they're a honeypot.
yeah, but I see this as just sort of being a, it's not really much of anything. This one.
You're not much of anything.
I'll leave. I'll go. I'll leave right now.
Alright, so. Also,
Yeah,
from my search-
DuckDuckGo didn't have anything.
also, from what I can find on this, there's nothing.
What's next?
Well, the next one's pretty based, but it's rather unsatisfactory. New discovery will change history. Root system found under Devil's Tower. This ties into flat earthers. The belief.
I don't know
that
why
they're-
you always tie this idea of flat Earth. There's literally
No. Giant trees being mountains is a flat Earth tie-in.
It's not.
We've done
It's
this-
literally a completely different theory.
We've done this on the
And you
last.
always do this. How is it a flat Earth tie-in? Tell me how it's a flat Earth.
Wait, hold up. Devil's Tower root system is a flat Earth tie-in?
Apparently.
Yeah. Go further back in the Iceberg, we did giant trees, and the Devil's Tower was subject to one of those too. Nearly every citation was found on Flat Earth blog.
Wow.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
And this one is too. Because this image comes from a political satire Facebook page that is known for posting memes.
So can't really trust them, can we?
So unfortunately, there is no root system under Devil's Tower,
Yeah, no.
despite Boson's objections.
I'm just saying it's
saying
not a
it-
flat Earth theory.
Who is
fucking
how?
retarded.
Who's dead
Is, can we just get to the root system itself? Is there any evidence of it?
There's not.
No, it's sourced from a Facebook post that would prove false. So.
Yeah, I read the Snopes article. Don't worry.
Alright. Transcension hypothesis.
Hypothesis.
Hypothesis. Transcension hypothesis. Go.
It's apparently a thing about space civilizations and their expansion across the galaxy. I legit just found the source.
I'm toasty. It's a little hot in here. Sweaty.
Apparently, we enter a black hole-like destinations because we can add more computers and shit in them, I guess, and just
So this is just some weird philosophy shit. Yeah, we're just
No. He's butchering it. It's this idea about the it's another solution of the Fermi paradox, which I know you like.
Oh.
It's the idea that sufficiently advanced civilizations invariably leave our universe. Now you can say it's a crackpot theory, but this is on Science Direct. This is a peer-reviewed article.
I'm pretty sure there's a flat Earth.
to be honest.
I mean, if I have to pay to access the article, I think it's at least a little bit above flat.
Fair enough.
It's actually
fair enough.
worse.
Here's the link.
Well, I mean, so the thing is with the Fermi paradox is that it doesn't matter how wacky your idea is, so long as it explains the problem, anyone will accept it. My personal favorite one or solution is the dark forest theory. That the reason why we simply don't hear about other life is that as soon as other life starts making noise, all the predatorial civilizations go after it, and they end up dying quickly after.
The transcension hypothesis proposes that a universal process of evolutionary development guides all sufficiently advanced civilizations into what may be called inner space, a computationally optimal domain of increasingly dense, productive, miniaturized, and efficient scales of space-time, energy, and matter.
Yeah, I remember this one. Yeah, it's quite unique. Essentially,
So it's either that they use black holes to leave the universe, or that they do the whole, like, upload your brain to the cyberspace thing
eventually that
and
turns
leave
to a
our
black
universe.
hole.
And leave our universe that. Which is interesting. I don't know if it's a good explanation for the Fermi paradox, because you would still find civilizations that haven't gotten there.
Yeah.
That's the weird thing with all the Fermi paradox ones, is that, yeah, every time a civilization makes enough noise, it gets destroyed. Like, well, how about all the ones that haven't made noise yet? Why aren't those there?
What about us?
I keep hearing it's furry paradox.
The Fermi paradox is...
Well, I mean, the
unsolved.
furries are a paradox in on themselves, so...
The Fermi paradox, dipshit.
I want to fuck animals, but also I don't want to fuck animals. I mean, it's like... Make up your...
Well, Boson, if you're gonna call yourself an animal, then by all means.
So, gentlemen, BP caused the Permian extinction.
Now, this is the one I was talking about when I said the least plausible one actually had evidence. Because I mean, this one actually has something. It refers to a study done by geologists about the composition of the atmosphere over the course of geological. And they found that the amount of CO2 emissions in the atmosphere was particularly high during the Permian extinction. In fact, their hypothesis is that the amount of emissions caused by burning coal might have been a cause for the extinction. But
Oh,
that begs the question: why was there so much coal being burned? Like 100 million years.
Well, I think the hole in this tie-in is that BP doesn't work with coal.
or that BP wasn't around 100 million years ago.
No, that's plausible. The coal burning part's not, though.
What?
Well, anyway, here's the graph that shows CO2 in the atmosphere over time, and you can see the giant spike at the Permian extinction that immediately then falls, which is like, isn't that interesting?
How the fuck does that get so high then just instantly gone? Did they just find? Did they just decide that the way to solve global warming was just to cap people?
BP went back in time and lit all the coal on fire, and then went back into.
Why were they coal burning?
No, the Permian extinction was caused by coal burner.
Fucking BP has time travel abilities.
So-
Fuck, that sounds like an amazing story.
The Axis won World War II.
Oh, Otto's awake.
Is this even like something to be taken seriously?
I mean, in terms of like economically, they kind of
Okay,
eventually.
I feel like you can extrapolate this to be there's a small minority of people who
How
think
could I have been so stupid?
there's a small minority of people who believe that our current misfortunes are the result of a carefully coordinated cabal of Nazi survivors operating from another country, perhaps our own.
Argentina. If it were to be a place, it would be Argentina, though.
It's not a particularly academic theory. I mean, you could argue that Germany is better off now than it was in the 40s, but
It is better off now than it is in the 40s. Germany is the economic center of Europe and isn't in a crappy democracy that's likely to fall apart. So.
well, but then you could only say Germany because Italy is in shitty shape. They're actually collapsing.
I was gonna say, I have a more grounded idea on this. I think what they're saying is the Axis won a cultural victory, meaning even though they lost, people still to this day think that the Axis should have won or support their ideologies.
Yeah, because you hear so many people supporting imperial Japanese ideologies.
I'm sure some do.
Everyone in this room knows it's not the Imperial Japanese that people on Usenet worship. You know that damn well.
Yeah, we all know that
Yeah,
they don't give a shit about them.
Well, I think it's. I'm sorry. I found this post on the X archive. It's just like a Wojak picture, and he says, "How do I make a dimensional jump to the timeline where the Axis won?"
Send the link, please.
It's not on this iceberg. It was on another one, I think. I don't know if we went. But it's corporations were not made; they were rediscovered.
I remember that one. I don't think it is on this one, but no.
Like we didn't create Microsoft; we rediscovered Microsoft.
Which, how do you discover a corporation?
It's like really elaborate.
That's not how discovery works. That just broke my brain. Fuck off. We're not doing that.
No, listen. BP has existed, and there was an antediluvian civilization that caused the Permian extinction, and all killed themselves. But the BP financial papers existed and stayed preserved for millions until it was discovered in present.
BP is eternal. They are the one true guiding light of humanity.
Yikes. Multiple Christ theory.
Well, if you consider worldwide coal fires to be a guiding light.
Literal guiding light, but tish.
I'm sorry.
Listen,
what did you say?
BP never burned coal. Okay.
Yeah,
Not in our
BP
present
has been around.
timeline, but in the antediluvian world, that's all they.
Well, that's the world of theorizing. Yeah, maybe, but I doubt it. BP has always been an oil company.
So, multiple Christs theory?
Well, I mean, I've talked about the three versions of Judas probably 5 times over the course of this iceberg. Do you want me to talk about it again?
Well, the thing is, when you say multiple Christs, like, which one are we talking about? Is it, like, the biblical version of multiple Christs? Or is it, like, the Judas theory? Like, there are so many different, quote, multiple Christs.
So they're talking about.
Well, there is a, I'll say that there is a growing trend. I don't know how I should say growing. There is a weird trend of there being supposed eyewitnesses of Jesus on several parts of the at different times. Have you noticed?
Well, I mean...
the Mormons say that Jesus traveled to the America, and then there's that spot in Japan that says Christ came here and visited Japan before disappearing.
Well, I mean, can
So,
Mormons
the
really
only
be
way-
trusted? I don't know if the Mormon faith can be held
Well,
up to
it's
the
an
exact
interesting trend to say the least. He has apparently been seen in so many different places on Earth. The only way that would be plausible is if there were more than one.
Well, I mean, it's not that implausible. If Jesus really is God, what would be implausible about that?
Fair enough, but. I mean, if you don't believe in Christianity, there's something a bit off.
No, but then I guess this really just helps you push you in that direction now, doesn't it?
I
Anyway,
genuinely do.
concrete enema.
So I want y'all to Google search enema, and imagine that made of concrete.
Sounds pretty hot.
Search what?
Don't search enema. I can describe what it is to you.
Alright,
It's a butt pill.
It's when you wash out your anus with water to clean it out.
Ah.
Oh, I'm thinking a suppository.
Yeah.
So then what the fuck is concrete enema?
It's how concrete is liquid. Instead of water, you put concrete in your anus.
Right, we're just gonna black this and move on.
How do I block you?
6 human organs. Medicine keeps secret.
Here is, 6 body parts that hid from science in plain sight. So it's kind of a contextual rewording.
Ah. Oh.
Yeah, they did discover a new organ. It's called the mesocolon, which was discovered to be a continuous piece of tissue, which means it's finally brings the count to 79. And apparently the clitoris is another one.
Huh. That's actually a really interesting article. I thought it was complete horseshit, but...
Oh no, it's from PopSci.
Wow. So you're saying it is complete horseshit? Well, that's interesting. I thought that one was just completely false, but they just reworded it. Wow, what do we do when we figure out a conspiracy theory is true?
Could this be a tie-in to the humans are actually psychokinetic conspiracy theory? Listen, Project Stargate was legit, guys. Please ignore the last paragraph on the report that says it's not conclusive.
What's Project Stargate? Is that like...
Project Stargate is when the CIA did a lengthy amount of tests trying to prove that humans were psychoactive. That if you close your eyes really hard and have someone guide you through it, you can quote-unquote teleport your thoughts and see another part of the world without electronic assistance.
Was this when they put all that LSD into people?
No, this is separate. This was the 70s and 80s. Now, what's interesting about Project Stargate is that only 10% of the viewing sessions were considered productive. They canceled the report because it wasn't consistently productive, but 10% of people correctly found things that they weren't capable of knowing about.
Did these people repeatedly do it, or was it occasionally?
It was repeatedly. It was a small number of people.
But they specifically chose these people out, so it's not just 10% of all people have this ability.
Oh no, 10% of their subjects. I thought I said that.
Alright.
Project Stargate, by the way, reads exactly like an anomalous article. It even has test logs.
Oh my god.
It's almost like that's what the genre is based
Oh yeah. They deliberately created SCP in 2008 when they came across Project Stargate on the CIA website.
Well, that reminds
I mean,
me
yeah.
of a theory. It's an old theory, and if you've ever done any creative writing for the site, you know that it's totally bunk. But like, it was just so juicy in terms of like the idea that there was a part of me that desperately wanted it to be true.
What's that?
And,
What
and
was
it was the theory that, and for the life of me, I can't find it. But the theory was that SCP-173 wasn't created; it was accidentally leaked. And in order to basically contain that situation, they created the SCP Foundation, and then leaked other articles acting as if they were all pieces of creative work.
That sounds like the most... That sounds awesome and stupid.
Like, it's so juicy and awesome, and I wish it were true, but I know for a fact that it's not.
I know it's not.
Also, Chrome, if you look in the investigative room, that's like the front page of the report.
Damn, that looks awesome. Do you have the PDF?
We do actually have the PDF, DMPP.
Now I'll zoom right here.
That sounds like we should just have it in the Iceberg for season 2, actually. So get the link from PP and then
It gets interesting on page 19 when they start doing drawing. Do your best to read everything, because it's pretty good.
Oh wait. 10% subjects were consistently able to get information they're going to have access to.
Yeah, so one of the big tenets of remote viewing is where you... How do I describe it? You just read the goddamn report, you know. They walk you through how to do it yourself, actually.
So, if these 10% people are able to reliably do it, then why did they stop?
Well, it's weird, right? Because in the first paragraph, they say remote viewing is a real phenomenon, but in the last paragraph, they say there's not enough conclusive evidence for practical application.
Which means they're able to get information, but they aren't able to get specific.
Yeah, so they're admitting that it's possible, but they're also admitting it's not useful enough to consider seriously.
Alright, so... That's...
Fun fact about Project Stargate, they began research after they found some Soviet documents claiming to have mind control capability.
Well, to be honest, I think that the Soviets making documents like that isn't the most far-fetched things.
Well, the Soviets loved the idea.
Propaganda.
Like, we know
like
the
that.
Chinese tried to experiment in it for a while.
I mean, I think they're kind of just doing it now with business, but
Well, Venezuelan health magic.
Hey,
Venezuelan health magic.
it's Venusian, which implies not Venice, but Venus.
Magic with a CK.
I said Venezuelan, didn't I?
No, you said
You said Venezuelan.
You said Venetian. Which
no,
implies
I heard Venezuela.
Yeah, I said Venezuelan. I meant Venusian health magic. There
Fuck,
we
I'm putting
go.
these things on my USB.
So what is it?
Well, listen, I mean, with a cover like this, you can tell that it's a highly accredited and resourceful. I mean, who looks at that cover and says, "I don't trust it"? Not me.
We're not skipping XR. We haven't gotten.
Yeah, we haven't been to XRA. Just we don't skip shit.
So this is the Venusian health magic. Oh my god. What is Venusian? No, XRA op psyops.
No, apparently they're still looking into Venusian health.
Oh. So aliens and health magic.
Right, there's nothing here. We're just gonna move on. XRA PsyOps.
I thought it would be fascinating. It's fascinating, but it's not really fascinating, you know.
Oh look, it's straight up the I found a /X thread and it's just straight up the iceberg.
Yeah, and Baph and Otto found I'm pretty sure the exact same thread as well. They linked.
The very bottom post is one of my favorite. XRA is a black comedy that focuses on the dangers of spirituality and openly mocks spiritual beliefs and stereotypes through dark humor. It is supposed to be creepy, disturbing as fuck because the entire show is supposed to be taken as a warning against believing the ridiculousness of the.
Which I mean, that's kind of evidence of a psyop a little bit, don't you think?
Alright.
Making a whole show to try and get people to not believe in something sounds.
Well, yeah, but the original thing of the X thread was XRA is a psyop to normalize pedophilia.
Well, I believe that all cartoons are normalized pedophilia.
How about I normalize you, Boson?
That's not gonna work.
You're doing almost the exact opposite.
Alright, I found some Wikipedia articles, which means there's probably nothing on there.
Muse DMing me, hold on.
Alright, there's also PsyOps 8, which is a creative agency. What the fuck does this mean?
Do we move on from XRA?
Yeah.
Still looking at it. There's a website called PsyOps 8. Okay, so PsyOps is mostly just the use of psychological warfare, not really.
Bermuda Triangle resurfacing.
This is referring to the SS Cotopaxi. It was a steamer heading to Cuba in 1925 that disappeared. And supposedly, in 2015, resurfaced and was captured by the Cuban.
Any reports to collaborate this?
There's this one. Well, Otto, the entire industry of people who make shows and things like Adult Swim is very. I guess the right word is incestuous, but not in the bad way. It's just they all work on each other's shit. So because it's like this community of like 15 people that all do this, make shows, and then everyone helps out with each other's shows.
That's some pretty base shit. Oh, this one's my favorite. I love
What?
this one. This one's like right up me and Kier's alley. Michigan Blue Hell.
Oh yeah,
It's a 6-point ley line crossing in Lake Erie where Native Americans trapped an evil spirit.
wait. What?
That's what Michigan Blue Hell is. It's a quote unquote out of level area in Michigan where Native Americans trapped demonic spirits. It's you fall out of the earth when you're, hence the video game association.
I'm trying to see if there are like eyewitness reports. Because well, yes, it's a cool theory. You could find some evidence where it's like, yeah, someone went there and they disappeared or whatever. That would be that'd be really.
I think it's cool, but let me show you why this is not workable. And here's why. This is why it stops here. It's over.
Do you know what proof is in this info show? I did see that too. Well, apparently, this makes it extra interesting. It's not proof, but it makes the story a little bit more. This is a screenshot from GTA that, according to the people who purport this theory, say that that's a real location in Michigan. That's where the Blue Hell is. The people thought it was a video game glitch because
Because it's a video game screenshot.
No, because the real place in Michigan looks like. But everyone.
I can't believe Michigan is home to like polygonal clouds.
I can't believe Michigan has polygon clouds in it. That's really weird. It's like they were making a game and they just forgot to put textures in Michigan.
Fucking damn it! Who forgot to texture the water? Said God to all his angels.
That made me laugh because I misread it.
Now
What did you read?
So after Transcendence is irrelevant, it's Reddit tunnels in Switzerland. I misread it as Reddit tunnels.
You said I figured.
Reddit tunnels in Switzerland.
Did we move on from Michigan Blue?
Well, I mean, Transcendence is irrelevant, so we don't have to talk about it. Moving
But
on.
Tish.
What
are the Reddit tunnels?
Reddit tunnels in Switzerland.
Well, there's a lot of tunnels in Switzerland because of their aggressive neutrality stance. But the Reddit tunnels are where Reddit servers are held, obviously, because Reddit needs to protect its valuable information.
It's where all the Reddit gold stars come from.
Deep underneath the ground, they have a
In
Bitcoin mining machine that doesn't mine
Alright, well,
Bitcoins.
hold on.
Hold on.
Shh. During my time as a conscripted medic for the Swiss Army General Staff, I was regularly deployed to the National Redouille, a network of tunnels spanning the Alps. Several of these tunnels have been designated as Geheim, or been assigned to the ETH for research. Finding it kind of weird though when it talks about the Redouille tunnels in Switzerland and all the shit that's.
So, essentially the Redouille tunnels are tunnels that are being researched.
Well, apparently there's a bunch of tunnels that span underneath the Alps.
Yeah, there are. Like during the Cold War and World War II, Switzerland set up an enormous system of tunnels and defenses on their stance of aggressive neutrality. So that part is believable.
Hey, quick tangent. Boson, where did you get that CO2 chart from with the Permian extinction?
I think I still have the link open. Yeah.
I posted it in politics and pinged Jerry. I said climate change isn't a problem, LMAO, and he wants to know the.
I'm changing.
Listen, CO2 is not on par with how it was 600 million years ago, so I think we're fine.
So I take it there's nothing actually in the tunnels. Teeth implants at birth?
Whoa.
Do we really have to?
Someone Google it real quick. I'll do the next one.
Okay, I'll just.
You definitely want to do the next one back.
Do I? Hold on. Oh.
It just seems up your alley, is
Teeth implants at birth. No. I think this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life because
I do know in the early stages of stem cell research, follicular tissue from wisdom tooth extraction was harvested for study. This tissue was implanted in other parts of the body and developed into those specific cells, i.e., follicular tissue was implanted into the liver and turned into healthy hepatocytes. But what we know today about stem cells started with leftover tissue from wisdom tooth extraction.
well, teeth implants at birth. I think that's not what it's referring to. I
Just
think
so that way we're clear, we don't give our opinions. We approach every single conspiracy theory as if there is, at the bare minimum, a 50% chance of it being real.
right for this. I think that if we had like implants at birth, they'd fall out when our baby teeth leave. So,
How do you know that the adult teeth aren't implants?
holy shit, mind blown.
Fucking damn it. Perestroika deception.
For those of you who don't know, Perestroika was a period of cultural and financial liberalization of the USSR, which led to its collapse. That's the official story. A lot of tryhards will cite this, but it's relevant this time. Let's see, what's the exact quote here? Now this could be just like sour grapes, like actually I won type shit, but here's a quote from you. According to KGB documents published by Golitsyn, Perestroika and Glasnost were always intended from the beginning to serve as a media ploy to deceive the West into lowering its defenses to the point where Soviet goals could proceed unchallenged. However, it kind of fucked them over in the long run, didn't it? Because they broke up, they lost their ship. However, there are some Russian state officials who still hold to the belief that there is an elaborate ruse that continues to this day. And they firmly believe socialism will find its route in Russia again. TLDR, Perestroika was a psyop.
So perestroika is the I forgot what that is.
I told you what it was. It was when the USSR became more liberal. So they stopped censoring people, they started introducing capitalism in small amounts.
No. I mean, that isn't the most far-fetched theory if you aren't members of the Cold War, and specifically the guy who did all those policies.
So this is one of those super fucking insane ones. Stanley Kubrick, God enslavement.
Holy fuck, that's the most impressive conspiracy I've ever heard.
And yet I believe it without any evidence.
I do too. The amount.
Oh god, I can't find anything.
1 second.
God, I wanted nothing more than to find something for this one. But I
I'm
can't.
gonna say, like, why is it that the most interesting ones have fucking nothing on them? Can we put that on the iceberg? Interesting theories have no proof.
Well, let's just. You have to kind of be tricky with these, like, you know, using the quotation marks on Google searches and stuff like that. So, see if I can find literally it.
My apologies, my mom came in and started talking about things.
I mean, Stanley Kubrick was 100% killed for Eyes Wide Shut.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
no, without doubt.
Who's Stanley Kubrick?
What about Stanley Kubrick and the Saturn Death Cult?
Oh, that's fascinating.
Thank you for your dismissal, Baph. I really appreciate
It's
it.
fascinating.
Really helpful. Can we mute Baph?
Okay, Saturn is not a death cult. He's not even an entity. Okay, no one worships. Besides, it's not even a hymn. They're worshiping a hexagon on the planet Saturn.
Sadly, Jeffrey Epstein is worshiping Saturn. So
Actually, no. He was a devout Roman Catholic.
Actually, Jeffrey Epstein got fucking murdered, so...
Actually, he slipped and died.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did.
I'm sure Epstein died. It's not Occam's razor.
Jerry took it seriously.
Actually, Occam's razor points to murder.
Yeah.
Gordon's razor.
Occam's razor for Jeffrey Epstein points to murder, which is surprising.
Can we move on?
Well, we're not talking about that yet, at the very
We should
least.
talk about it at the end of the.
Unfortunately, no, not yet. That could be something that we could sit back and reflect on later.
So to be honest, I think.
All right.
Stanley
Hey,
Kubrick,
that's
God
like-
enslavement, no go.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Damn.
Next.
What a fucking shame.
I
The
want that
color
to be
red
true.
causes cancer.
I think this just sounds like
No,
sounds
it's
like
real.
communist propaganda.
This one,
but
this
okay.
yeah, Baph. I think found the same thing I had.
It's real.
Yeah.
It's not the color red. It's the color red dye that's put into candy and products for food.
Red 40 specifically.
Red.
I'm reading Red 40 is a certified color that comes from petroleum distillates or coal.
Red 3 causes cancer in animals, and there's evidence that several other dyes are also carcinogenic. 3 dyes, Red 40, Yellow 5, and Yellow 6, have been found to be contaminated with benzidine or other carcinogens.
So it is Red 40.
Yeah, but Red 3 is the worst.
Go fuck you.
So that means Grandma's strawberry candies with the center, they...
But where's the conspiracy? If it's just a
not.
fact.
No, sometimes the iceberg just states facts, okay?
That's
You know, given the context of this series, it's a bit of a racy thing to say.
ncbi.nlm.nih.gov, the #1 site for proving genetic race theory, has just said that red number 3 causes cancer. Okay?
Entropy encoding.
That nice deflection, white boy.
It's a good thing I'm not white.
Jews are white half the time.
God, I can't even begin to express my disappointment with people who talk like this.
it's about computers.
So no entropy encoding?
So no entropy, I'm out.
However,
what
it
is
has like fuck all sources.
It wasn't a nuke. It was a spherical metal ball that is dropped from high altitudes and uses entropy encoding to detonate.
Except entropy encoding is about computers and file compression.
Are you sure? Apparently, it can cause metal balls to detonate.
You know what? I would love to see. Oh, my apologies. I guess. But I would love to see like a computer detonating a metal ball.
Well, there's nothing for it. We can just black it and move on.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. It's just like a coding thing.
Look, I just got into coding. Alright, you see Bodibot up there? He's a good boy. He does what I ask. And he's offline! What the fuck?
Your bot left you, retard.
We get an F for Sinaticus' bot.
There we go. He's back online. I don't know what caused him to go to sleep, but there we go.
Boson, if you look at off topic, Amazing's very angry that I told him his strawberry candy causes cancer.
Self-inducing schizophrenia.
That's also
Oh,
known
I
as
know all about that.
That's also known as getting a tulpa. self-induced schizophrenia is pretty straightforward. You convince yourself into schizophrenia, and let me tell you, it's how you get enlightened.
You cut out.
No, I didn't. How about you?
How you get
How about you
enlightened?
get off your hotspot in the Wegmans parking?
You what was the last thing you said? That's how you get a what?
Alright, let me see. What's
Well,
next?
I mean, we're just not even gonna address this. It's just a yes.
What? No, Baph just wants to throw his fit.
I mean, yeah, you can self-induce schizophrenia without a doubt. The question is, do you want to?
No.
I
I mean,
mean,
it depends how you perceive schizophrenia.
yeah, it depends on how you perceive schizophrenia. Enron controls AI trading.
Well, we're just gonna dismiss this.
Why?
Why?
They don't exist.
I'm sorry, they do. They control AI trading.
They don't.
But it says
Enron
on the
exists.
iceberg that AI trading. What do you mean they don't exist?
Enron is defunct. Sorry. Okay, so Otto has information about the Saturn death cult, and he wants to know if he can.
Sure.
Well, hold up, wait. What is this in relation to?
Apparently, Stanley Kubrick.
Oh, okay.
Whatever.
Donald
Donald
Trump.
Trump. What?
We ain't talking about Donald Trump here. Oh shit! It
Donald
really
Trump's
is
an
about
American
Donald Trump.
Did I say Donald Trump an American Jew?
What?
I'm pretty sure it does.
Every time.
Although he recently said on Twitter something about being the king of Jews.
Oh yeah,
I
the
don't
king
know.
of Israel.
Do you trust SaturnDeathCult.com?
Yeah, I didn't even realize they had their own register.
Holy fuck.
To be perfectly
It's like-
honest, no, I don't trust SaturnDeathCult.com.
Well, it's straight from the horse's mouth.
Sorry, I looked up Enron on X, and there's just this funny reply I found where someone said, "This nigger went full Enron."
Wait, say it again. You cut out.
It was just a funny reply on X where someone was replying to a dumb post. And they said, "This nigger just went full Enron."
I gotta say, guys, I'm looking through all of this, and
Oz went defunct in 2001. Alright, Enron isn't a thing.
this is beautiful, Otto. This has nothing to do with what we're doing, but it is beautiful.
I agree.
That was a good laugh.
That is the best thing I've
I
ever
guess, I
seen.
guess you're right, Baph. We're gonna black this. Evangelion. Oh, 7 OS DVD Easter egg.
Well,
Oh,
all
I know
stands
this
for Australia, and the Easter egg was that on
Yeah, I'm making a streamable so I can show you Sinaticus. Hold on.
Alright, while you're doing that, I'll tell you about this. So essentially an Australian version of this disc, there was an Easter egg where we'd show a clip from, like, I believe it was a documentary, and it turns out that was simply just like a mistake made by the publishing house of the DVD.
According to who?
I found a YouTube video a while ago, accidentally.
My source is a YouTube video.
Yeah, it was. So I believe, like, if you just,
My
like, look it up,
source is a YouTube video.
you'll find it, because if it was on a YouTube video, it means it isn't that far down just
I
conspiracy.
mean, our source is 4chan. Are we any better?
Yes, by leagues and bounds. Alright, so hold on. This is a, if you look in the investigation, this is a short little streamable from the original. Baph, will you stop fucking posting shit that's like ahead? Jesus
Okay,
Christ.
yep. This is not bullshitting. Okay.
There's a short little streamable
Yeah,
of the original
so,
video that shows the quote-
Okay, yep. This is not bullshitting.
Literally, I don't
Okay.
understand why you do
Yeah,
this.
so-
Baph.
What?
I believe this might be it.
No, that's
Okay, yep. This is not bullshitting. Okay. Yeah, so
Are you sure that's an Easter egg? I don't think that's an Easter egg.
I don't think it's an intentional Easter egg.
Yeah, I found the video that I was looking for this theory. It's really not a conspiracy theory, it was just like a publishing mistake.
What's creepy about it? It's just an Asian lady in a bikini.
Yeah, but it comes on randomly within the menu.
Well,
so that's why
I
it's creepy.
personally, I know you might not agree, Sinaticus, because you're a Jew, but I believe human trafficking to be highly creepy and unnerving.
It's probably the
Okay,
director's-
hold up.
Well,
I
the
believe
director of
human
Evangelion.
trafficking to be a terrible thing as well. I just don't think they'd be dumb enough to put it in an Evangelion DVD.
well, no, that's what the documentary was about. They accidentally cut in, so I think.
Don't
entirely sure.
mess with my nigga Goose Boost, okay?
That's a reputable source.
Yes, but he used Reddit as his source. Big brain time.
Alright, so the next one is just titled Never Open Exit.
Exist.
It's
Baph
a
is the image you can
Exist.
use.
It's
Also
series
have a Reddit thread.
Never Open Exist?
Shh, he's talking.
Series of spooky 4chan ads. And y'all remember browsing and you would see these ads about a year ago, maybe less?
Yeah,
Oh,
these
yeah.
weird ones. The worst were they had like the disgusting photoshopped faces and stuff in them. It was not fun. But Never Open Exist was one.
So if you ever clicked on these, you'd get like adware and malware. But Never Open Exist, X fell in love with and shilled it. Like for
Well,
forever.
it's weird, especially because it's the only one of the 8 ads in the screenshot that doesn't have like it's only one of 3 of the 8 screenshots in the ad that don't have link attached. It's just not like there's no website name.
If you clicked on Never Open Exist, nothing happened. So
Yeah, that's
So why would they even-
why they had
because
these.
it was spooky, it was a joke.
I don't think it was a joke. Baph.
I think it's a human trafficking counter signal, Baph.
Well, I think this.
It
Never
might
Open
be.
Exist is just simply people. It's just simply one of these ads, but they forgot to put the link in it. Yeah. Anyone else got anything in it about this?
About Never Open Exist? No.
I mean, like, what did it do?
Nothing.
Nothing. Oh.
It's just an image that was part of adware, but it didn't have any adware on it. So
Alright, The Madness of Anabaptists at Munster 1532.
Okay, this is a real rabbit hole. Like, this is a fucking insane event. This refers to what's known as the Munster Rebellion, in which and this is not my words, this is the, official, one of the official, names for it, an ISIS-like group of, mad, radical Anabaptists took over the city of Munster and held it hostage for several, months.
So this is just an event.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Is there anything devious about this, minus the obvious...
Well, the fact that a bunch of Anabaptists suddenly decided to take over a town for no reason at all is, I mean, it's just like a case of it's just a case of mass hysteria.
I think the cause of this is the more conspiracy part of it.
Well, I mean,
Right.
I unironically think the dancing plague wasn't mass hysteria.
Well, mass hysteria isn't real, so
Well, it is
Mass
real,
hysteria
no, it's
isn't
not.
real.
not in those situations.
No, we could sit down and have a whole debate as to why we think mass hysteria isn't real. My short of it is that you can't measure subjective experience, therefore to state that everyone had the exact same subjective experience is to invoke, transcendental insanity. There are so many problems with the idea of mass hysteria. But that's for another day. Surplus value of code.
It's capitalist philosophy. It's really intricate. I'll link it.
Okay. 1800s internet.
No.
How do you know, though, Baph? How do you know?
Code surplus value and the augmented intellect. Brought to you by a man in Vancouver.
I want to know about the 1800s internet. I need it for my steampunk series.
We're not there yet, though.
Someone, there's a post where they're explaining the iceberg conspiracy, and they give like a sentence explanation for each one, but then it just says 1800s internet telepathy. It's just telepathy.
You have like the link to that one. I want to see it.
Someone said 1800s internet is real. They even managed to make a fax machine. What?
The fax machines of the 1800s were powered by telegraphs. They did exist.
Yeah. But it's not like internet as we know it.
Yes?
It seems to be related to how people have similar patterns in which they share. These patterns were observed when people first had large newspapers reach, letters, telegraph, etc., and we see them again with the internet. For example, how we connect to groups of people with similar views, create or imitate interesting ways to express such information, even trolling. If I'm not mistaken, and this is really what it is, it doesn't sound a lot like a conspiracy, just a mildly interesting, not fully understood anthropological phenomenon. I was hoping this meant something a bit spookier, still hoping for a sauce in some of these conspiracies.
Alright. Spoken by the man himself.
1800 internet is just a term for the wire service transatlantic.
Huh.
Well, there is a transatlantic wire in today's world. It's a giant
they
fiber optic
existed
cable
back
that
then,
goes
too.
across
Yeah.
You know fucking sharks chomp on those things? I had to learn about that. We've got like a giant transatlantic fiberglass cable that goes across the Atlantic Ocean, and fucking sharks like gnaw on it every now and then. Just remember that your data coming from Europe has potentially been in the mouth of a shark.
Okay, hold on. Are you hold on. Are you ready for the big paragraph for 1800s internet? Because there's a big paragraph.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Oh god.
Alright. You know how in the 1800s the telegraph and the telephone were invented and electricity was discovered. Suffice it to say, it was a revolution in communication technology. The 1800s internet was created by a group of unorthodox and highly intelligent people who surprisingly claimed that they were not the ones who came up with it and were inspired from somewhere else. Once the network grew, the sensitive information the group used the internet to convey were at risk of being discovered by others who were only joining this internet thing for its novelty. Immediately and without warning, the servers were shut down and the group disappeared. There is no evidence of who they were or what they were using the internet for. The only evidence that it existed is from a few anecdotes that can't be verified, including conspiracists who claim the CIA, IBM got their idea from seized evidence. From the sources that are written about the 1800s internet, their method of utilizing electricity is different from the way we use it today, allegedly, but the technology to recreate it has yet to be discovered since no evidence. Do you recall that Nikola Tesla talked about radio waves and how ideas exist in the air around us, I only had to catch them? He could have been discussing the transference of information through wireless technology. If he was involved in the 1800s internet, it's possible he knew what information was being transferred, and this is why he never spoke about it, other than allusion.
Why is it that every so often I just hear about a conspiracy theory that just involves Nikola Tesla?
Well, Tesla was involved in a lot of weird
He did do a lot
shit.
of science. A lot of weird occult
He was
stuff.
also sexually attracted to a pigeon.
Yes. Yeah. And he was still a brilliant person.
I think his autism prevented him from communicating to people about his business ventures, which is part of the reason Edison won up to.
Maybe.
And
Well,
there's the one
that's
he got a bunch of
okay.
fireflies
So
to explode.
technically, that's not true. When we sit down and we look at Edison, he's only ever famous for the light bulb, and even then, that credit has been largely taken away from him. Meanwhile, when we take a look at a lot of the tech we use in today's world, I know this having taken a class on low voltage, it most likely starts with, well, the first concept of this starts with Tesla. ...
Yeah.
So, he created perhaps the very first conceptualizations of many modern tech that we see today. And he's even responsible for the way we transfer data and electricity. Originally it was all DC, but now it's AC. And that's thanks to him. So you could say that Nikola Tesla...
my favorite band.
Well, yeah, he's the father of the 21st century tech.
Yeah.
Manson family pit.
So this one is actually a little bit interesting. Because one of the things with the Manson family was part of their theology was that once the race war started, they would escape to this quote-unquote bottomless pit in the desert in California, where they would build like an underground hideout or city of some kind that they would live in. Or it was something like it was already there and they were supposed to find it, and there was like an underground city there already or something. The thing that is important is members of the Manson family claim they found the pit and that there was a city there or something, or that they built their hideaway there. They claim they found the bottomless pit, basically, but several thorough searches of, where they thought the Manson family were out in the desert, it hasn't, there are no results. No one else has found it, so.
I think it might have been an allegory for hell.
We'll hide out in hell during the race war.
Oh my god.
I don't think.
That's
Wait,
amazing.
so I know
Oh my
that
God.
Manson was like the Jesus LARPer. Where's the race war tie into this? Was he like a neo-Nazi?
No, well, no. The whole thing with the Manson family is the idea of helter-skelter, which is the point of their killings was they were trying to start a race war, which would cause the apocalypse.
Alright.
And he is kind of a neo-Nazi, but not.
Well, every time we see like an absolutely retarded man in history, he seems to have like really fluffy, kind of curled hair that's about neck length.
I'm not sure what you are trying to imply.
So, Blair, which two lost ARG? Do we have anything for this?
Alright, so it says the terrible movie Book of Shadows, which is the sequel to Blair Witch, had a hugely complex advertising gimmick leading up to it with websites and PS1 games that contained clues and phone numbers you had to call, etc. The movie itself contains heaps of clues like scenes you have to play backwards, hidden messages in Morse, and all kinds of shit someone obviously put a lot of effort into craft. If you've seen the film, you know it's not scary at all. That's because all of the creepy scenes were only available by playing this ARG. They would get emailed to you on a personalized server on one of the many websites, or you even had to write to a post address and would receive a physical VHS tape. It was nuts, easily the biggest thing of that kind at the time. But the movie was total garbage, and so interest waned very quickly without the full ARG ever being. Now most of the links are defunct and there's no word from any of the original creators, and only a few of the extra scenes and related material are still floating.
Huh. What a stupid way to make a movie.
That's pretty cool.
It is cool, but
So, I can tell you right off the bat, for this next one, quantum jumping has nothing to do with quantum physics.
what the fuck is it about?
Okay.
It's nothing. It's nothing. You can go ahead and Google it yourself. Synchronicity following quantum jumping. Last I checked, it was a scam devised by a hack fraud who has nothing to do with quantum physics. I just want to say that up front. Don't ask me. I do not know.
Oh my god, it is the stupidest shit I've ever heard. Oh. Yeah. those are since the IRG is more scary than the edgy art project produced. Yeah,
So
agreed, Terror.
we're actually going to go around to the one directly underneath it. Hegel the Antichrist.
Why?
It sounds kind of fascinating.
Well, fair enough. Hegel was a philosopher, I'm sure you're right. But the interesting part about him is that October 1st, 1831, Hegel is witnessed to have burst into flames and disappeared from the earth.
Is that what actually happened?
Well, let's look at the Wikipedia article. I'm not familiar with philosophy, but Sinaticus, if you're at all aware of what Hegelian philosophy even is, could you give us a rundown?
Let's see. If I'm not mistaken, Hegel was a German philosopher. Who served as inspiration for, at the very least, some of the Nazi ideologies, including the idea of the Übermensch, or the ideal individual, which, funnily enough, is what also helped fund the Superman. In terms of theology in context with the Antichrist, I believe Hegel was a staunch anti-theist. But I could be wrong about that. I could be getting him mixed up with some other German fuck.
Oh, he just kind of died of plague.
But, remember that video about that guy talking about completing the...
Yeah, completing the system of German.
Completing the system of German. He's one of those guys. I'm wrong. He's actually a strong supporter of the ontological argument.
Somebody also said that he burst into flame on Lit, so let's see what the replies. I'm sure Lit were receptive to the idea that Hegel was the Antichrist.
Holy shit, Hegel was so fucking based. He agrees with me in a lot of things. Did I actually formulate part of my stuff from Hegel's beliefs? I think I've accidentally...
Well, I mean, you are Jewish, so it would make sense that your philosophy falls out of the Antichrist.
Nah, I don't think Hegel's the Antichrist. Yeah, no, don't believe me. As a matter of fact, I'm just gonna edit out all the shit I said. Because I clearly
just add out all your lifelines inside the entirety of this recording.
I very clearly accidentally mixed up Hegel with someone else.
Well, who did you mix him up with?
I don't remember.
Oh, Kant,
Probably Kant. Yeah, I gotta say, the thing is that like I don't really focus on who wrote it. I focus on like what they wrote. So like all German philosophers to me are just one giant blend. Same for Greek and so on. So I sincerely doubt. Yeah, no. Died of the fucking plague.
Yeah.
Tupac was always a hologram.
I mean, I think it's pretty...
I mean, you know, why not?
Baph, you still awake?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
But was Tupac a hologram, Baph?
No, he was shot by his hood friends.
That sounds about right.
I guess he wasn't.
That's true, guys. How is it that Tupac could have been shot and at the same time be a hologram?
Yeah.
The people that shot him were also hot.
Holy shit, hologramception.
Well, Ano, what is the Nazim Magdan? She was the shooter who shot up YouTube. No, it doesn't. I don't think, the scene. This was probably made before the YouTube shooting, actually, so probably.
There's conspiracy around the YouTube shooting.
What's interesting about the Nassim?
Cut out there, Boson. You didn't tell us what was interesting about it. Like, what was interesting about it? From what I could tell when Sam shooting it was, like,
Maybe we're actually confusing Kant too. Look, guys, I don't fucking know. All right, I don't remember who philosophized what. I just remember the philosophy itself. But it would look. I can't confirm, however, that it would appear as though Hegel in particular has influenced a lot of what I presented in the ontological model, Boson. Because Hegel appears to have a lot of protoistic ideas as to how I described Jesus being both God and a person on a trans-dimensional scale, minus the quantum physics part, because that wasn't around when he was around.
fair enough.
So, Big Lurch Ritual.
So Big Lurch was a rapper and convicted murderer. He's serving a life sentence for murdering 21-year-old roommate Tanisha Yasais after eating parts of her body in April 2002.
Nice. Gotta get into that dank cannibalism.
Let's see here. The victim was found in her apartment by a friend. Her chest had been opened and a 3-inch blade was found broken off in her scapula. Teeth marks were found on her face and lungs. And eyewitnesses reported that when Singleton was picked up by police, he was, Singleton, by the way, is the name of the rapper. He was naked, covered in blood, standing in the middle of the street and staring at the sky. A medical examination performed shortly after his capture found human flesh in his stomach that was not his. He was denied. Let's see. He pled not guilty by reason of insanity, but the judge denied him. I don't know where the ritual ties into this, unless it's assuming that he underwent a ritual.
Well, here's the. According to Carolyn Stinson, who is a person in the Superior Court of Law, the rap label, then known as Death Row Records, but now known as The Row, THA Row, provided Big Lurch with the apartment and gave him PCP to encourage him to act out in a violent or extreme manner, and so as to make him more marketable as a gangster rap artist.
That's fucking crazy.
So it might not have been a satanic ritual, but perhaps a type of ritual in which a rap label manipulated him for an unknown reason to eat and murder somebody by giving him an empty apartment in PCP.
Well, that doesn't sound sustainable.
I don't know,
What do
we've
you
seen
mean?
a lot of, quote, satanic things that didn't seem sustainable at first.
I mean, at least the Epstein thing was sustainable until someone found out, but if you're actually eating people in a public building, that's not gonna...
Well, it could just be that Big Lurch was not as competent as they thought he was. He didn't dispose of the body.
I guess, he wasn't fit. He didn't pass the filter. Kanye West ate 12 people.
I'm sorry. What? What?
You didn't hear about?
No.
He's been caught up in lawsuits for like 10 years because they say he ate.
I think that we can safely say that time and history most certainly does not move in reverse.
Well, hold on.
I mean, reverse is perspective based, so
It's related to the idea of retrocausality, right? That events in the future can actually affect events that happened in the past. In a sort of backwards causality, in a sort of.
So the thing is that the quantum physics of it do not really support that.
Wait, are you one of those the future doesn't exist yet?
Well, no. If anything, the future has already occurred, and we are merely three-dimensional figures going through the motions of our fourth-dimensional time frames. What I'm saying is that it's not physically possible for fourth-dimensional frames. For fourth-dimensional frames within the confines of their future sections changing what happened previously. That's not how time works.
alright, so we can cross that one out. God, I love having someone who actually knows what quantum physics is inside these calls.
No heaven, only hell.
This is philosophical about religion.
This seems to, at least on Google, point to the problem of hell conundrum. I'm sure you're familiar with it, Sinaticus.
Yes, but let's go ahead and say in theory that I didn't, just because we need to explain it to the audience.
The problem of hell is an ethical problem in Abrahamic religion, in which the existence of hell for the punishment of souls is regarded as inconsistent with the notion of omnibenevolence. It derives from 4 key positions: that hell exists, that it is for the punishment of people whose lives on earth are judged to have sinned against God, some people go there, and that there's no escape.
Well, I would say it really depends on your interpretation of hell. Really, the Bible doesn't actually talk much about hell.
But doesn't it say you can't escape it once you're there, you're fucked?
No. So, for starters, when we think of hell, you have to understand that what you think and what the Bible describes are 2 different things. You're thinking Dante's Inferno, right? You're thinking 7 rings, and each ring has a particular punishment. That's not anywhere in the Bible. As a matter of fact, the Bible actually describes several other planes from heaven and hell. There's also another realm called Abaddon, which is interpreted to be both a figure and a location located directly next to Sheol. So there are a number of places that you can go to when you die. Now, as for what we would consider to be hell, there are 2 primary ways of thinking of it. The first is the Jewish idea, which is that nobody goes to heaven. You go to hell, and then you go to heaven. There's no direct route to heaven. The Christian outlook of this is, well, actually there is a direct route to heaven. You go through Jesus, and anyone who ends up in hell is not leaving. So I would argue for various religions such as Judaism, this really isn't the problem, as eternal punishment is for 12 people. You would really have to fuck up to get an eternal punishment in Judaism.
Like, how bad?
We're talking like Hitler bad, so yeah, 12 people.
Alright.
So, and again, the theory here, at the very least from what I'm gathering, is that there's no heaven and that there's only hell?
That's
That's what it would seem. I didn't find that particular phrase.
Well, you know, I would question as to how you could possibly know this.
fair enough, because you don't know if, like, afterlife is real at all, so how would they know this?
Like, you'd have to go to hell to know whether or not heaven actually exists, because supposedly heaven and hell are like a stone's throw away from each other.
I mean, fuck. The only
And
way-
if you're at hell, you most certainly aren't coming back here to tell us how it was.
Yes, it was exactly how you expect.
So, I don't know, there's a lot of problems with both the problem of hell, which really isn't a problem. Well, so let me address that since you brought it up, right? And I'm not going to spend too long on it, but the problem with that argument is that it's not consistent with what God actually says in the Bible. God says that he loves his creation, but he also says that he's not going to leave the guilty unpunished. The only way you could think that these are inconsistent is if you somehow think that love for your creation and wanting to punish the guilty are somehow at odds with each other. And if so, it's on you to describe as to why it is.
Fair enough. I think that this can be blacked out.
So, Inland Sahara Ocean, artificial.
I think this refers to the Qatar Depression Project, which is a plan. I'll give you one guess. Saudi Arabia to completely flood a portion of the Sahara Desert to create an inland sea for unknown purpose.
That would work out pretty well.
I'm not sure why it's out of the iceberg, but it's interesting that we don't know why they're doing it.
Well, you know, maybe they could end up reflooding the Recot and we could get Atlantis back.
That wouldn't. It would just make it more wet. It wouldn't make Atlantis. That's the other thing I thought is weird about your whole recot structures. Wasn't Atlantis destroyed by a flood, and the recot structure is like a desert? How does that?
Well, it's funny, yes, but there are whale bones found all around the Ricard, as well as other places in Mauritania and the surrounding Sahara Desert, implying that it was once an ocean. This actually would help support that the Ricard is Atlantis, because scientists tell us that the Ricard was formed from seismic activity underneath the Earth pushing the crust up, which means that it would make a lot of sense for the idea that the Ricard was once an island in what used to be an archipelago of North Africa. Then, after being destroyed, 12,000 years later, the Earth slowly pushed the Ricard up, turning it into the desert we know today. So, there are all kinds of aquatic bones found all across the Ricard, Boson.
Alright, fair enough.
Time is going faster.
I've looked this one up. This is essentially, as you get older, you feel as if time's going faster.
Okay, so
There's a helpful chart for
Right,
you.
so
I don't know if it's hinting at this explicit.
That's all it's...
yeah, so it's talking about your perception of time, not actual time itself.
No, but if we talked about actual time, that'd be one hell of a conspiracy theory, but no, this is just...
Well, I was just about to go into it. Technically, time stretches with space, and so, in theory, it is actually getting faster. It's just that, you know, it's so irrelevant. We're talking about, like, 1/100th, 1,000th of a picosecond per every second, so, like, we'll never know the difference, because it doesn't matter.
The difference is irrelevant, therefore it does not matter.
Yeah. Tap water blacklist.
Well, Flint, Michigan can tell you about that one.
It sounds familiar.
Hold on, I had something for it. Unless Baph has something for it.
I have
A
no-
list of municipalities maintained by the U.S. government where they closely monitor the tap water additives, typically highly working class cities, neighborhoods. Think the poorest areas of New York and Boston. Let's see. Where, without heavy intervention, unions and political organizing would take root and pose a serious threat to the status quo. Oh, I see. So there's a very true fact that places with a significant working class population, the water supply is closely paid attention to and is disproportionately secured. And the reason theory behind that is so it can't be targeted to cause some kind of political unrest.
Okay. Alright then, psychotropic warfare.
Wait, what?
Down. We're moving down to the weird guy now.
You
You
skipped
missed
Soviet
Soviet
skin.
No, we just went over it.
No, we went over tap
We
water
did-
blacklist.
We did tap water blacklist.
Oh, fuck! My bad.
Oh fuck. They're
Um,
erasing our memories of discussion. This thing. They're like, CI's on to us,
It's
boys.
the tap water blacklist. It's getting to me. Soviet skin site. My
I have a
bad.
PDF. I don't know if we'll be able to go into it very. Yeah, all right, you know, fine. Yeah, if you look at that PDF, it talks about Soviet skin. I believe the title is From Sensational Stir to Serious Research, Experiments Confirm Yes, Skin Site Exists. Someone just get murdered by a rapper in your apartment?
I heard
Sounds like
that
my
too,
brother.
Boson.
Sounds like my brother just got killed in Rust.
Oh, Baph, this is the fucking report that you were talking
What?
where the Russians were believed to have like telepathy research done. This is what it is. Is the idea that people that Russia did research about like with people who could see things with their skin, which is basically
Foreign Technology Division. Oh wow, I'm gonna post this in general and say it's so cleanly photocopied. I like it.
Did you see the title?
Yeah, from sensation stir to serious research. Fuck. Experiments confirm yes, skin site exists. By
More Technologies, the Wright Patterson, AFB, Ohio.
Okay.
Huh.
Now we are on psychotropic warfare. No more skipping ahead.
More Technology Mission. Now that's an American GUI. This. So,
Psychochemical warfare involves the use of psychopharmacological agents with the intention of incapacitating an adversary through the temporary induction of a hallucinatory state.
oh my
Say
god,
that
these are
10
literally
times.
the gay bombs that Alex Jones were talking about.
Operation Delirium was something the U.S. government did in the 70s when they thought they could create like I don't know, hallucinogenic bombs or something. You read the
I think essentially they're just trying to gas people with LSD and hope it works to neutralize them temporarily.
Well, what I think that this theory is suggesting is that the U.S. government is using psychotropic warfare against its own citizens.
MK Ultra? Question mark? Question mark? Question mark?
Well, yes, there is evidence of them doing that. But, the idea that they did experiments with doping out large populations with psychotropic drugs. Yeah, I don't know. It's very.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think there's any way they could have gone that without people noticing.
I'm saying it's real.
Proof?
Proof.
Fuck off, disinfo.
I think you're living in an area where they're spreading clouds of PCP, so that's why you're scared. Well, I mean, it's just like, you know, obviously they have no problem drugging drugs, and they did research with drugging people using indetectable clouds of psychotropic drugs, so it's, you just put two and two together, and it's like, yeah, it's not really that out of the wheelhouse.
Yeah. Reality is reality effect. Oh boy.
Wait, what?
Reality effect? Oh boy, that sounds straight off.
That's what it says. Reality is reality effect.
That sounds like some, like, I don't know. Sounds like.
So, boys, anyone want to wager a guess as to what reality is reality effect is?
Oh, reality effect is
not quite yet.
Oh, it was. Reality effect is a song.
It's a song?
Yeah. Well, reality effect, but not reality. Reality is reality effect. And I've also found a bunch of virtual reality conspiracy theories. Oh, there's one of my Fox News saying that it causes violence. Lovely.
I can't find anything on that.
I guess it's nothing then. We will kill the universe every time we look at dark energy.
This one is rather popular, but I think it's real. This one.
Based off what?
Human observation of dark energy may shorten the lifespan of the universe. New York researchers at Case Western Reserve and Vanderbilt universities confirm.
How? We haven't seen it yet.
Well, we don't know. We don't know if we've seen it yet.
All we've seen
could
is
be
its
a perception.
effect.
Well, that's the thing, right? We could be looking at it all the time because we don't know. But anyway,
And what does it mean?
let me read the fucking article, Google. Jesus. Alright, so dark energy, coupled with the fact that the expansion of the universe is accelerating, suggests that the Big Bang did not produce a zero energy vacuum, but another metastable false vacuum. Using the analogy of a decaying radioactive atom where shifts in energy states occur at random, Professor Krauss says that it is entirely possible that the energy state of the universe could decay again, wiping the slate of our universe clean.
But that's like the most like boner kill end of the universe scenario I can imagine. Some retard looks at some black stuff and everything erases its.
There are problems that need to be addressed. How could something like this possibly happen? In quantum mechanics, there is an effect known as the quantum Zeno effect, an oddity of the quantum world that suggests a system can be kept in an excited state by repeated measurements. This can be described as using a quantum system initially in state A. After time begins, the system wants to decay to state B, but before it reaches state B, it will exist as a superposition of states A and B. If one measures the system shortly before it begins, it would have a high probability of collapsing entirely to state A again, essentially resetting the system's internal quantum clock. Krauss is suggesting that by observing the dark energy, we reset the internal quantum clock of the false vacuum universe, and that may have caused it to return to a point before it has switched from the fast decay to the slow decay, in the process greatly reducing the universe's ultimate chance of survival.
Well, I mean, we don't exist on the quantum field of things. That only works in the quantum field of things.
Upscaling
Observation objectively affects quantum state. That's something that has experimental data up the ass.
Oh, well, I know, but I still have students in my theology class who will deny that. But, I mean... But that only, again, but that whole observation thing only works on the quantum level. Things are collapsed from waves of probability. Like...
I don't know. This is fucking chicken scratch to me. I'll link it and see if you can, like, parse this shit. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
I disagree. I mean, maybe on like a quantum level, yeah, sure, but like...
There's the article. Go nuts.
I will give it a read.
Educate yourself.
Well, no one has time to sit down and read like pages and pages of quantum physics. Like me.
Well, you can do it later. Next we got unholy theology.
Excuse me, who are you?
Nobody.
Next up, we have unholy teleology. Oh shit! Oh shit! It's the one I've been waiting for.
I know. Shh. We have to do unholy teleology.
Okay, fine.
What is unholy teleology?
Only the thing I get right off the bat is an Unholy Spirits PDF. Well, this is a bunch of garbage. The Crisis of Western Nationalism. Oh, fucking damn it. Thank you for
Why the hell did
me.
I find a Japanese music site doing this?
I don't get anything from this, Boson.
Oh, who joined? Oh, hello, Rynox.
It's boy who has stupid.
We just finished your section.
Oh, shit! Rynox manages to make it, meaning that there's still an episode where all 4 hosts make an appearance. Well done, Rynox. We are currently on Unholy Teleology.
What's unholy teleology? Because I can't find shit.
I don't know, and Baph and Boson have mysteriously gone quiet.
I'm looking into the next one.
Yeah.
I'm looking at teleology, and basically it's the reason or explanation for something as a function of its end, purpose, or goal. This is the reason why something exists. So, unholy teleology would be something with an unholy purpose. And what the fuck is... Oh, I just looked at the Wikipedia article. There's a section for cybernetics on it.
Sounds fun.
So, are we good to just black this one?
For now, I guess.
Yeah, I guess we have to black it. There's nothing here.
Oh, did we do psychotropic warfare?
We did.
Uh,
We did psychotropic warfare. We are now on, perhaps myself and Boson's most anticipated theory. I've waited a good long time for this one.
The Atlantis?
Thevitat of Atlantis is the demiurge! Boson, please take it away.
Thevitat is quite famously referred to, I think, in the Platonic texts first, and then it's repeated elsewhere, that is the last king of Atlantis, the one that fucked everything. The idea that that figure could be a manifestation of the demiurge is an implant. I'm looking now into what evidence there is that it's the demiurge. But I mean, it's not out of the ordinary. But the whole point of Atlantis, it's a sort of Tower of Babel situation, right? Atlantis is known as this perfect society of humanity, right, where they're getting everything right. And if they do that, that's not good for the demiurge, so he would want to fuck. Right?
Yeah.
So,
Certainly.
but I thought Atlantis was destroyed because of their own hubris and eventual degeneration.
Well, it was kind of destroyed twice. First by Thevitat, and then by the giant flood that came for them afterwards.
Well, something really wants you dead.
I'm looking at the full text of the book right now, and I hate it because every time I try to do a Control-G search, it lags out.
I think I found where PP is.
So what I'm looking at is a bunch of situations in which people are using Thevitat as a metaphor for the demiurge, in the sense that ruler who is leading his people down the wrong path. So I guess it's less. It could be that they're the same figure, but what most of these works are doing is they're using Thevitat and Atlantis as a sort of metaphor for the demiurge and humanity, basically.
Right. Right.
I would leave it unblacked because on a deeper dive, this is definitely something worth a deeper dive. Entire books that I'm gonna have to comb through to fucking get this shit.
No, I haven't left. I just had to, had an interruption. Well, I can share my own crackpot theories of the Atlantean timeline in conjunction with other things later, but, this is a subject that intrigues me a lot. I guess we'll keep it and move on. Fitma cover-up.
I found, this just now.
The Great Vatican cover-up of the third secret of Fitma.
Also, you,
Well, that's a good one. I'm reading into that now. I can provide a description.
Please do.
Boson, you read ahead the entire Iceberg, so it's really annoying that you don't. There's no secrets for you anymore.
What do you? I'm just asking you to please.
You
said you're
spoiled it.
reading it.
spoiling it for yourself, my boy. It's very disappointing to my soul.
I'm just asking you to explain it because I don't know what it's. Can you just please explain?
Sure, it's like when your parents tell you that Santa ate the cookies. I don't know where they went. I guess.
Oh my god. I literally just said, okay, explain it, and you're spurt. Just tell me what it is.
The three is it Fatima?
Yes.
The Three Secrets of Fatima consists of a series of apocalyptic visions and prophecies which were supposedly given to three young Portuguese shepherds by a Marian apparition starting on May 13th, 1917. The apparition is now popularly known as Our Lady of Fatima. Let's see here. According to Lucia, on July 13th, 1917, around noon, the Virgin Mary entrusted the children with three secrets. Two of the secrets were revealed in 1941 in a document written by Lucia at the request of Jose Alves Correa da Silva, Bishop of Liera, because I can't pronounce Portuguese, it's to assist with the publication of a new edition of a book on Jacinta. When asked by the bishop in 1943 to reveal the third secret, Lucia struggled for a short period, being not yet convinced that God had clearly authorized her to act. In October 1943, the bishop ordered her to put it in writing. Lucia then wrote the secret down and sealed it in an envelope not to be opened until 1960, when it will appear clearer, quote, "The text of the third secret was officially released by Pope John Paul in 2000, although some claim that it was not the entire secret revealed by Lucia, despite repeated assertions from the Vatican to the contrary."
All right.
Apparently, the Pope John Paul II was asked to reveal what the secret was in 1980. That he wasn't going to do it because he was afraid communism would use it to destroy the church.
Well, I was actually just reading about that, how, communist countries and the fucking church were, had a Cold War with each other.
Well, yeah, most communist.
Commonly known as the Cold War.
Put on Tish.
Yeah, but they didn't like other religions other than the state usually. Sometimes they would just tolerate them, other times not so much.
Well, what do you think, Baph, as the man who constantly shits all over conspiracies? Do you think they released the...
I'm reading The Controversy, which is 2,000 characters, so I'll have an answer for you in the next hour.
2,000 characters is not that long.
I do know, however, that when they released the third secret, the Portuguese got very upset because they opened it in Rome and not Portugal, where it actually took place.
Which is suspicious, and we've had talks about how the Catholics, and especially the people who run the Vatican, are extremely secretive and malicious, so it would not surprise me if they...
In a syndicated radio broadcast, Malachi Martin stated that the third secret doesn't make any sense unless we accept that there will be, or that there is in progress, a wholesale apostasy amongst clerics, and lately the Catholic Church. Because of the seriousness of its contents, in order not to encourage... Oh yeah, I see the communism. My predecessors in the chair of Peter have diplomatically preferred to withhold its publication. According to various Catholic interpretations, the three secrets involve hell, World War I and World War II, and the 20th century persecution of Christians. Citation. I'm gonna have to read more into that.
All right. Neanderthal shadow.
Well, just now, Matt. Do you think they released the full thing?
I don't know.
What do you think? What is your opinion?
I'm not gonna make an uneducated opinion.
It's called
Why?
hypothesizing. You already know the background, so
Yeah. So
it's just a 50-50 chance.
If
Well, I'm gonna assume that if they had a problem with commies exploiting it, then it must be heavily redacted.
I don't see why they wouldn't have sent the entire thing, or that they cover, or like why they would cover it. It just seems weird. You know, like what an odd thing to cover up.
Of the hundreds of alleged apparitions the Catholic Church has investigated, only 12 have received ecclesiastical approval, and 9 of them occurred between 1830 and 1933. Interestingly enough.
Well, I guess we'll let this get covered up by the Neanderthal shadow government.
Some guy made a post about it in 2018.
well, posts made in 2018 are kind of our bread and butter here. So
Of course, of course. This country is covertly being ravaged by this administration in ways that most distractible by the time people wake up to it. It will be a third world nation, especially with all the Chinese silent invasion maneuvers. Beside Africa, Neanderthal shadow government, aka copy-paste intelligences of stolen true culture, reversed engineered into condescending deception for service to self-programs of planetary genocide through the domination of control aspects of narcissistic, and then it just stops.
How the fuck do I search 4chan threads?
Sinaticus, what are you doing tomorrow?
Nothing. I'm not doing anything tomorrow.
Neither am I.
Maybe we can do more. Well, I mean, it's not that I'm not doing anything. It's that I do have some stuff. I gotta go to like my college and work things out, and then I gotta call my job and tell them, hey, look, classes start, and you guys scheduled me on some of my classes. But other than that, kind of nothing, kind of something. I don't know. I'll definitely be available at 5 p.m. Like I said.
Oh, someone made a video.
About
It's
the
about-
Neanderthal shadow government? The fuck?
I don't know if it's specifically about a shadow government, but I found the transhuman feminist agenda resurrecting the Neanderthal.
Oh, well. Okay.
well, we know the Neanderthals were intelligent, and we know that humans bred with Neanderthals, and we know that they built mysterious stone circles, so they had some kind of mysticism, so it means they were especially intelligent.
Neanderthals are most certainly not intelligent compared to us, though. If they were, they would have won.
I mean, are you? Well, they did win.
No, they didn't.
They run the shadow government.
Oh, damn it!
I'd say they're smarter than the dolphins. Or are they in charge of the
Well,
dolphins?
they're obviously smarter than dolphins, but you know the Cro-Magnons came along and it was game over. The 9/11 Half-Lives.
Oh yeah. I'm sure this is not related, but they canceled the first version of the game because of 9/11.
Well, hold on.
What? That's not. It's not a fact. You just made that up.
Wait, what did he say?
They canceled the first version of Half-Life because of 9/11.
Oh, Half-Life
Half
2.
was reduced in not.
Oh, Half-Life
Which is
2.
true.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
true.
because in the campaign you smashed a cargo plane into a skyscraper to break it.
Yeah,
Holy
that would
shit.
that would cause. Yeah.
Alright, I guess that is true. I take that back.
and you did so like guns blazing and bomb throwing, you know? A little
Oh my god. That's awful.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is pretty awesome. Also, I got nothing on this.
Yeah. all I can find are things about Half-Lives and 9/11. But apparently, slightly more than half of all Americans believe the government hasn't told them everything about 9/11.
Well, the 9/11 Half-Lives thing is there's this article talks about how children are suffering from diseases because of materials released in 9/11. The children are too old because most of the toxic chemicals that would have been released by the towers collapsing had half-lives that were too short. Such as most of the children were like 6 to 9, but the half-lives of the materials are only 3 to 8. They would have decayed away before causing such effects in the children, which implies that the materials causing it are have higher half-life, which I don't know what that implies, but I think it's one of these like, actually the towers were nuked and there's radioactive material or something like that, but
Yeah, even then, they could still have long-lasting effects later down the line.
Actually, the towers were raptured.
There you go. They were taken up into the sky.
I'll link
Rapture
you the
already
article
happened,
about
they
the
were left behind.
half-lives.
Alright.
Alright. Bovine hormone conditioning.
Uh-oh.
This isn't attached to that whole disgusting McDonald's thing, right?
No, it is a spin-off of the Flat Earth.
Which, by the way, before I left RPC, was going to inspire a series of stories that I was going to write. I was so looking forward to it.
You can still write them.
You still write them.
I am going to write
Yeah.
them just outside the context of RPC.
Post them on way.
No.
Also-
I've already decided that it's just going to be a short story about people conditioning other people into food.
Well, I'm gonna steal your idea and put it on RPC.
Okay? Do it.
Okay.
Baph, you haven't even finished your fucking article, you liar.
It keeps getting shot down by the lore committee.
Then stop going so big.
No, fuck you. If I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do something with effort.
Then make a 001 proposal.
Anyway, what's the next one?
Bovine hormone conditioning. Did you not find anything?
I have. Well, I think it has something to do with how we put artificial growth hormones and shit in cows, so by extension, people who eat that become affected. So if you could take this a lot of ways. I'm gonna go with the more like funny way and say the beef industry is turning people gay.
Chemicals in the water.
You know, there's a reason Chick-fil-A says eat more chicken, and it's not the reason you.
Well,
they're trying to save you.
Maybe that's why the local gays keep trying to get Chick-fil-A shut down. They want more gay people.
no, they want less gay people.
Well, no,
Obviously.
the local LGBT rights group obviously wants more, though.
Nah, you're not thinking big brain enough.
Someone once accused me of being homophobic, and I was just like, what? I'm anything but. I love gay people. They-
why don't you prove it?
They don't compete for other women, and best of all, they take another guy with them. Best bros ever.
Can I just say something real quick?
Go for it.
You think that the whole reason why homosexuality got sort of rise in the world is population control?
Well, I mean, this is kind of
Considering
what
the
this is.
population of first world countries is going down, I don't think that's a really good
No,
thing.
no, he doesn't mean like the total number. He means when a lot of people are packed together in a tight area, can homosexual tendencies evolve? I think so. There's actually a study someone did about the decreasing testosterone in Western males, and one of the reasons cited was the overproduction of social hormones known as oxycontin, which is a testosterone inhibitor.
Well, I
These
mean,
are based on experiments from several years ago. You remember what was it called? The It was the mouse experiments with the city.
I was just about to say John B.
I'm
Calhoun's
not
Rat
referencing that.
Utopia.
It's a standalone
Always
study
based on
done
that.
by. I'm referencing a study based from Business Insider, who's normally pretty nice with these things.
Yeah, but what do you?
Oh wait, when you say oxytocin, do you mean oxytocin?
Oxycodone.
The hormone referenced in this article to be caused by social Marxism and the synthesis of
No.
feminism.
Hold on. I'll find it.
Wait, oxycodone? Isn't that
It's not a Marxist.
narcotic?
Are you saying oxycodone or oxycodone?
I'm not sure.
Well, so during the experience ran by Dr. John B. Calhoun, also known as the Rat Utopia, which Rynox just cited, that's exactly what happened. Many of the male mice started to display homosexual tendencies.
Not as many as you would expect, but there was definitely an increased number. But there was also an increased number of needs.
Well, I mean, he did originally refer to them as the homosexuals.
Okay, so here's the reference of oxycodone from this article.
No, this is eye-opening. We're gonna keep this one and move
It is
over.
oxytocin. Yeah, and in this article, it's referenced as linked to cultural Marxism.
We're gonna move over to Zuckerberg suicide 2003.
Okay, yours is from Stormfront, mine's from Forbes.
It's actually not. X claims that a friend of Mark Zuckerberg's killed themselves in 2003, and I'm trying to find it. I can't.
Wait, what is this? Why did this 22-year-old entrepreneur commit suicide? I found an article
When
that
did you get a
mentions
dog,
Mark
Zach?
Zuckerberg as a donator to someone who apparently committed suicide.
I've had two dogs for about like a year now. No, not even a year. I've had, oh god, Mott's and Grace are like what, almost 10 years old. I've had them for a good long time.
They're about to
I
die.
didn't realize that.
Why, you can hear them barking?
Yeah. I was like, am I the only person hearing this?
So we've always had the homosex peoples.
Yeah, we've had them for a long time.
Yes,
If the Greeks are anything to go by.
although sometimes there's dips and increases in
Well, the only reason there was a significant dip is because there was a very brief cultural period. I'm not sure if you're familiar. Christian Europe kind of didn't like.
Well, they also kind of didn't care because in the 1600s they kind of allowed it as long as you were married to a woman.
I'm talking about gay people, bro.
Well, I mean, why are we still on the gay thing?
I don't know. Did
I
we
want to say,
Because
I put us into
Alex was
Zuckerberg
right.
suicide 2003. The hell are you people still talking about the gay for?
Talk to Baph about it.
Baph just can't stop talking about gay shit, sorry.
I didn't know we moved on. I zoned.
I can only find that article, and the best thing I can find is that apparently he donated to some foundation that involved some sort of foreign technology student or founder. Apparently he committed suicide. Oh wait, no, that's not right.
Oh, let's go back to talking about gay shit now. Wait, look for that.
Yeah, that's not 2003.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Oh god.
What happened, Baph?
I just giggled for a second.
You actually didn't. You went,
Yeah, that's what you heard.
That's what we all heard.
It's one of the next one that I'm shaking my head at.
I can't find anything.
Alright, Pangea is a U.S. state.
Captivating.
I'm extremely intrigued
Me too.
and in total doubt.
I want to believe.
do you even want us to look at this one? I mean,
I know, not really. Sounds like a waste of time.
Well, it'll give us a little bit of time to look at other stuff.
Yeah, like Skew-toid. I don't see how this is a new shape. Like, allegedly, this is a new shape, but they just spammed polygons until it looked special. I don't. You want a
Seconds
picture?
involved.
So let me put this in. Let me put this in the chat for you. I'll put it in. Okay, so a skew-toid is a new shape that they discovered. It's a geometrical solution to three-dimensional packing. And the base shape looks like this. It's apparently more spatially efficient than a cube.
Fucking how?
it was discovered in our cells, apparently.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. The square's like hegemony on perfection has been.
Beyond perfection.
A 3D figure that our cells apply to gain better connection to its surrounding surface area. Genius, really. Kind of like the pre-Inca stonework in Cusco. What?
How much efficiency does this have?
Did this guy just call cells genius?
And here's another picture of the formations, you know.
Huh.
The name made me chuckle. Skew-toid. What does that mean? then I googled it and it was a retarded shape.
You're a slut.
Well, I mean,
Sounds like something you go to the doctor for.
this isn't a conspiracy theory.
All right,
Not everything on the iceberg is conspiracy fanatic.
But this is nothing. This is just a shape.
It's a new shape. Previously
There's
unknown.
no such thing as new shapes.
Sure there is.
A shape that's new to us.
Now look at this. This will blow your socks off, right?
Oh, buddy, my socks have been blown right off.
They discovered skew-toids in soap bubbles.
That's not really surprising.
Listen, the shape literally did not exist until last year, okay? Show like some respect.
Well, no, the shape always existed. We were just too retarded to know about it.
Can you prove that?
Yes, yes, I can. To ships,
I don't
shapes,
think prove that humans are retarded.
shapes
Go into-
exist necessarily. They always exist.
Go into your house and find a skew-toid and put it on camera.
That's not how that works.
Come on,
Activate
you can
3D
find a piece
printer.
of modern art.
Oh my god. Mattress firm concentrations.
What?
Boson has something on this.
I found,
I do. There's an image from a Business Insider article.
What a base news site. I've never had a problem with
Look at this.
them.
This is an official image from Business Insider. It looks like a YouTube film. You can see here on one road there are 9 mattress firms within like 200 feet of each other.
You're looking at the same thread I am, aren't you?
What the fuck?
Alright, so what's the... Well, and here, it's not even the concept. Let's sidestep from this real quick. Why do they all have the same name? Yeah, this is in every state. We have mattress firms near me, too. Why can't
Because
they
it's
call
because
themselves...
it's a national company. You fucking idiot.
Mattress
What?
Firm's a brand? It's a brand name?
Yeah. Yes. What do you mean it's a... Yes, of course it's a brand name.
I thought they just all agreed to call themselves Mattress Firm.
No, it's a chain.
Dude, why do... Dude, look. There are a lot of McDonald's in the U.S., but why are they all called... That's really weird, dude. They all have the same name, exact same...
That's not immediately obvious. And they all have, like, different building designs, so, you know.
The theory is that Mattress Firm is a giant money laundering scheme because despite their huge concentration, no one ever visits them and they're always empty.
I could buy it. I can buy
I
it.
could buy it, especially since I live in Vancouver and we dealt with probably the biggest money laundering scheme ever.
You know, I'm gonna go into a Mattress Firm tomorrow and, like, ask the employees what they're doing.
Ask employees how many mattresses they sell.
How many mattresses have you sold this week? Do you know?
And then he goes,
Yeah,
and then he
right.
actually gives you a fucking bullshit number. He's just like, 4.
No, because it's like, do you have to? There has to be like a secret code. Like maybe they're all connected.
Why don't you just straight up ask how you launder money? Throw a mattress for
What kind of secret code are you gonna use?
Just walk in there and be like,
In the lining.
walk in there and be like, bed bug, wink.
It could just be like a fake business because the CIA has had a long history of doing that, even going back to the early 60s with the Cuban problem.
Yeah.
So it's definitely possible.
Yeah. So, baby pterodactyl on the black market.
That just sounds awesome.
Well, there is some precedent for this. A lot of the new reptile species, and even the new species in general that get discovered by science, are sometimes, and in great numbers, found by underground pet trading markets, right? So there are undescribed by science species of reptiles, mammals, all kind of things being traded on the black market as pets, and so it's not at all entirely implausible to say that there may be like completely foreign to science animals being traded in the black market. Baby pterodactyls is a bit of a stretch in my opinion, but I think that the whole undiscovered by science animals being traded by the pet trading market is entirely viable, and I think worth a closer look.
Alright. Nothing further to go. China's real population.
Baph, you
I
can
mean,
take this.
I mean, I understand why people think it's fake. A billion people seems like a lot.
But I think
Well,
that
yeah,
is it.
Go ahead.
Alright. Google, think about it like this. Would you go or stand up to or against a country that has you beat simply by number population alone?
Oh,
Yeah, if it's
that's like a seriously. All right.
yeah, if they're lying, then it's a tactic to intimidate most of their neighboring countries.
You know what's
And
astounding?
people in them.
In China, someone's born every 2 seconds. Child. Child.
I don't know.
Child.
I don't think that's
Child.
too implausible because
I
think
know.
if
How
you-
many of them are thrown into the chipper?
There's 1 death every 3 seconds, 1 migrant every minute, and a net gain of 1 person every 5 seconds.
Did someone say migrants? Oh, hell no. We building that wall.
Yeah, along the Mexican border. Oh, the Canadian border is next, I guess.
No, the Canadians don't have to worry about that border.
Anyway,
They have a giant fucking river in between it, so good luck.
Comic-Con child recruitment.
They talk about it a lot on X, but I can't find anything on greater searches like on.
The only thing I can think about is that one weird quartering video from like a year ago, but that wasn't Comic-Con, that was like Magic the Gathering.
What was that?
Apparently there was like possible pedophiles or possible sexual
Predators.
yeah, or at least offenders that they use for staff or volunteers, and they never really actually like screened them before hiring them.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah. And it was either after or before he got banned. I forget what.
Alright. Bioma over genoma.
Well, Bioma, or biophysical model applications, is a modeling and simulation company. It's a software framework developed focusing on platform-independent reusable components. And it has a lot of links to the Human Genome Project.
Oh yeah, it uses the
Some
same
kind of
logo too.
Kind of spooky cyberpunk megacorp thing.
It's here, it's coming.
I guess there's nothing else to say over it. GGGQEP.
Oh, that's it.
Shiggy.
Hey, Baph.
Yeah.
You know what we're on, right?
What?
The GGGQEP. You know what that is?
Okay, well, why don't you red pill us?
It's the gadolinium gallium garnet quantum electronic process.
Okay, well, red pill.
It's not real. It's made up.
Okay, then tell me what's made up.
Produced by the Okalski method, apparently.
It's from this like deep web iceberg image. This one that's like completely and utterly just like false.
Oh yeah, well, I had to
Where
find it.
where it's just like, in order to get to this level of the deep web, you need a quantum process.
I have to find it because there's like an image on top of this image that points out everything wrong with this image.
Which image?
This iceberg image that we're looking at. My favorite part of this, right, is level 7 and level 8. If you read level 7, the best way to describe level 7 would be a war zone where it is every man for themselves. Where everyone who made it here is trying to get to the 8th level and preventing other people from reaching there.
But why though?
I mean, apparently gadolinium gallium garnet is a real substance that's used in computing, but it doesn't say it has anything to do with quantum.
I'm not seeing any.
The level 8 description's even more juicier. Level 7 is impossible to access directly. Then how the fuck you know it exists?
Directly, they have to dream about it.
The Primarch system is what controls the internet. No explanation for what that is. No government organization or organization has control of it. Nobody knows what it is.
Let me just object to that point about no government controlling it. The U.S. government contributes 94% of the onion.
That would have nothing to do with it at this rate.
Well,
if you don't know what it is, you don't know how it should exist. It's just dumb. This system is an anomaly. I'm sure it is. It's controlled by SCP. Discovered in the 2000s. It is unresponsive, but sends out unaltered commands to the entire net randomly. The entire
like-
7th level is people trying to gain access to the 8th level and stopping others from getting there. Level 8 is thought to be separated by a level 17 quantum T.R.001 level function lock, which is virtually impossible for our computers to break, also known as the final boss of the internet. What a fucking joke. What a fucking joke. Where is this? Oh, I already blacked it. Lol. Judas was crucified in place of Christ.
I found,
Oh,
Good one.
yeah, okay, yeah, but
If that's the
found an
case, who
article
hung
where,
themselves? Because Judas famously hung himself afterwards.
how many times do we have to bring up 3 versions of Judas? Borges rolls in his grave every time we have to bring him up.
oh no, they're talking about the silver again. But I found an article where some guy tries to explain it out, but most of the points seem to be completely out of context.
Abdullah Smith? Gee, I wonder if this guy's opinion is totally non-biased.
It's Abdullah Karim.
It says Abdullah Smith up top on the URL.
I wonder why he changed it.
Oh, it's like an Islam thing.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
don't think
it-
Christ actually was on the cross.
Yeah, they don't think he was actually on the cross. Well, I
Oh, this
know.
one has nothing to do with Borges.
No, it's just basically... I could sit down for hours telling you everything wrong with Islamic theology, but we simply don't have time. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that there are more historical sources collaborating that he was on that cross than there are Judas, which is just the Quran. And we're just going to move on.
Oh wait, here we go. When the soldiers with Judas were near to the place where Jesus was, Jesus heard the approach of many people, wherefore in fear he withdrew into the house, and the 11 were sleeping. Then God, seeing the danger of his servant, commanded Gabriel, Michael, Raphael, and Uriel, his ministers, to take Jesus out of the world. The holy angels came and took Jesus out by the window that looks toward the south. They bare him and placed him in the third heaven in the company of angels, blessing God forevermore. Judas entered.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It looks as though we are losing power.
It around.
Yeah, cool. Air's cooler when it moves.
All
No,
right.
it's not. Just moves
Um,
the hot air away.
I lost connection temporarily.
Can we press F for Sinaticus?
You were on Jesus being taken out of the window.
Oh yeah. Well, basically, Judas walked in, and then suddenly his face and his voice made him look like Jesus. And the disciples woke up and said, Well, no, it was like, hey, where's Jesus? And then they said, what are you talking about? Did you forget you're Jesus? And then he was taken away.
Yeah, well, I've already explained Islamic theology is very antithetical to what historical documents tell us, so...
And also, apparently, his source is Barnabas.net, which is apparently supposed to contain the Gospel of Barnabas. Except I don't understand, because I don't think... Was Barnabas one of the 12?
No. Barnabas was not one of the 12. So, even if he did write a gospel, it wouldn't be valid. Leopard, keepers of... Fucking damn it. Leopard keepers of Pemba Island.
The Zanzibar leopard refers to a species of leopard that was the apex predator on the Zanzibar and Pemba Islands for a long time, I guess. They're supposedly, according to the Natural History Museum in London, but there are people who claim they still have them kept. They call them leopard keepers, and say they still have live leopards in captivity, or they know where they are, but no one's ever looked into it. But every time they try to officially state that it's extinct, people say, well, actually, there are people in the Pemba Islands who say they're still alive. So I don't know. But here's the thing about it, Sinaticus. Do you know what's cool about?
What's cool about what? You cut out.
Do you know what's cool about this one, Sinaticus? It's encrypted, so you can't.
Oh, okay. Endless elevators.
Oh, I thought this was VR shit.
Yes, Baph?
Most things I found here are elevators, like in games and shit. Like, there's one in Oculus that I might actually look at.
One moment, I'm being called.
The Paternoster was apparently...
Well, there's two separate things here. The first one is the endless elevator in Oculus, and the second one is an SCP.
Oh, I got this.
Go is really reliable.
Endless Elevators is connected to Michigan Blue Hell somewhat, but also to the Shaver Mystery. And the Elevator game is pretty much the Infinity War of conspiracy theories.
What?
Ambitious crossover?
Endless Elevators is a pretty ambitious
Alright, what is the endless elevator crossover?
Well, it's a theory. If you press a certain combination of buttons and elevators, you can descend further than the base into either the Michigan Blue Hell, or into the Shaver Cavern, or into another dimension as per the elevator game, or the back room. Some people, I mean, it's connected to Elisa Lamb there.
Which elevator?
And all of them.
Words can't even begin to describe. I can't wait for us to talk about Elisa Lam.
Alright, so the fact is all elevators is something that we can agree might be bullshit, but...
No, we're gonna keep it. Going on to the next one.
With all elevators, but if it was with specific elevators, might be something there.
I think it was just most elevators in a particular area.
Well, no, because it's like, you have to understand it in order to fully get it. It's a glitch thing. It's like a universe glitch, so all elevators would have it.
Yeah, but certainly not all elevators have enough numbers to do it.
What do you mean enough number?
Like, if they only go up to the second, there's only 2 floors on the elevator. The elevator only has 2
What
buttons.
if you pressed it 13 times in a row on a given time?
What if you hit one of the invisible buttons?
You know what? I think Rynox has just hit ascended levels of what we need here.
There's invisible buttons, of course.
How was I so stupid? How could I not see the invisible buttons?
After this rope, can we take a break?
Oh, Bodybot died.
Yeah. So after this road, we'll take a break. We'll talk about endless elevators. Maybe we'll talk about Elisa Lam when it gets to that, and other metaphysical locations in Season 2. Really hoping to have Kirsk there for that episode. Oxygen is poisonous. We're
Kind of.
going to just keep moving. Rap.mp3.
Well, I mean, okay,
I mean,
it is.
any element in high doses is poisonous. I mean, yeah.
And oxygen does create free radicals occasionally, so like maybe.
Not gold.
What do you mean
I
not
mean,
gold?
there's a molecule made out of pure oxygen that is absolutely toxic to us.
Oh, yeah, no. This is a no-brainer. It's not a conspiracy or anything sinister. It's just a fact.
I think it's because of the fact that oxygen's, the word oxygen means acid brewer or acid maker, so maybe that has something to do with it. I just felt like that should probably be put into the recording, that's all. We can keep
Alright.
going.
Alright, rap.mp3.
Oh god.
I can't.
Wow, fuck all.
Apparently, it
MP3
was
juices.
something.
What the fuck?
Apparently, you can find the MP3 link in the early Iceberg. I'd need time to look through that shit, man.
Well, we can go back to it.
Yeah,
Ammon
just leave it
claims-
for season 2 or something, maybe, because
Alright, we'll leave it. The 3 ecologies.
it's a book by Felix Guattari. I'm trying to find information on it, but it is a book. So it's one of those books that's just obscure enough to not have a Wikipedia article summary available. So I have to find the summary somewhere.
Someone made a WordPress about 3 ecologies, but it's not. Wait a minute. It's inspired by the essay 3 Ecologies, an essay written by Felix Guattari in 1989. He claims that the environmental crisis is mainly a symptom of a much deeper psychological and social crisis, and to be able to do something substantial about the problems facing us, we need to act on all 3 levels: the mental, the social, and the environmental ecology. This page will explore the 3 ecologies, and then it's never been touched again. Wait, oh, there's a couple of things. Oh, it was made last year. The last one made was in February this year. And it's not in English, okay.
Alright. And the final one before we take our break, although I don't know if it'll be our actual break, because we've been doing this for 3 hours.
Yeah, so it's either a break or we're stopping, but I do have to go for a little bit, so we decide whether or not we can continue.
Well, I can continue indefinitely. The thing is that I have nothing to do tomorrow. If you want this to last until like 1 a.m., I can do it.
Well, we'll see. Baph has fallen asleep already, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Baph's fucking gone. He's on another planet.
Yeah, so maybe this will be it. Final one, supposedly. Well, I'll record it so that way it's the final one, just in case.
Alright.
And the final one for today is Smithsonian Data Breach.
Dreadboy, you get any?
I'm looking. I'm not seeing anything immediately. Oh, wait. Was interested in obtaining migrant children's drawings depicting their time in custody. That doesn't look right.
Why not?
I don't know, it just seems kind of odd that they would make... Hold on, I'll try to... Seems kind of odd that they would make this particular image.
That is very odd.
Oh. I got a scenario for you. The Smithsonian suffers a data breach, thus leaking swaths of content that documents the existence of cryptids and hidden ancient sites around the world. And... It's saying it will experience one. I think it's just an X theory.
Well, hold on. So there's this PDF I found.
Oh.
It doesn't actually have any good information, but if you click on it, look at the fucking redactions on this document.
Oh.
What the fuck does the Smithsonian need to redact this?
Oh!
Like, Jesus Christ.
Results of the audit are all redacted! Conclusion: IT security at high risk because security breaches cost money, disrupt operations, and erode public trust. Redacted. In response
the
to
audit's completely...
OIG recommendation of the previous audit, OCIO is redacted. And OCIO is incorporating the results of the audit redacted. As a result, OIG is not making a recommendation in this report. Redacted.
Alright, now that's
Nice,
the Office
that's a
of
good
Inspector
screenshot.
General, U.S. Department of Labor. That's... OIG recommends the Smithsonian enhance information security.
So yeah, there's some spooky shit on this, man. Like, it's all gone.
Access the redacted report, July 4th, 2019. Oof. Yeah, I can see why this was mentioned.
Well, I'm keeping that one. And that does it for this version of the Iceberg.
So I have to
We'll
go
see
for
you next
something.
time.
I'll be back.
Yeah, I'm